Sara magnanakaw, Sara magnanakaw, Sara magnanakaw, magnanakaw si Sara.
Impeach na yan! Impeach na yan! Impeach na yan!
Sa ngayon, sa wakas, no, after 10 years, ay kinumpirma ng Amlc yung aking nilalabas sa taong bayan simula pa noong 2016. Yun lang, nalungkot lang ako na hindi naniwala yung mga kababayan natin nung una ko itong inilabas. Pero ngayon, nandito na, no? At sana ay tuloy-tuloy na ito para matanggal na yung mabasag na yung pagpapanggap ng Duterte family na sila ay mga simple mga tao. Pero dito nakita natin, bukod sa kurakot sila, yung pera nila galing sa illegal na droga. So yan, maraming nabudol na Pilipino dito sa ginawa nila simula noon hanggang ngayon. Buti nga, hindi na pinag-usapan yun. May tama ka sa muta. Si Sara. Tayo, alam natin, marunong tayong mangilatis ng tao. Alam natin kung sino yung nasa tamang mag-iisip o hindi.
Bilyong halaga ng pera umano ang pumasok at lumabas sa mga bank account ni Vice President Sara Duterte at kanyang mister na si Manasseh Carpio. Ayon sa record na isinumite ng mga bangko sa Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLAC. Sa impeachment hearing nitong Miyerkules, sinabi ni AMLAC Executive Director Ronel Buenaventura na iniulat ng mga bangko sa ahensya ang kabuuang 313 covered transactions at 17 suspicious transactions sa mga account ni Duterte at 317 covered transactions at 16 suspicious transactions sa accounts ng mister nito. Ang kabuuang halaga umano ng mga na-flag ng transaction ay 6.77 billion kung saan 3.77 billion ang nasa account ni Duterte at ang nalalabing 2.99 billion ay kay Carpio. Batay sa datos, ang inflow o pumasok sa mga account ni Duterte ay 1.83 billion at 2.59 billion naman sa accounts ng mister nito. Ang outflow o lumabas naman ay 1.21 billion sa mga account ni Duterte at 343.32 million naman sa mga account ni Carpio. Mayroong ding natukoy ang AMLAC na 791.1 milyong halaga ng transaction na hindi malinaw ang detalye. Paliwanag ni Buenaventura, ang mga covered transaction ay ang mga bank deposits na mahigit 500,000 sa isang araw na otomatikong inire-report ng mga bangko sa AMLAC. Ang mga suspicious transaction naman ay mga transaction na flag ng bangko dahil questionable ang pagiging lehitimo nito at maaaring galing sa illegal anuman ang halaga. Sinabi ni Manila Representative Joel Chua na hindi tumutugma ang mga transaksyon ito sa idiniklara ni Duterte sa kanyang Statements of Assets, Liabilities and Net Worth or SALNs. Nauna rito, sinabi ng Ombudsman na walang idiniklarang cash on hand o bank deposit si Duterte sa kanyang SALN mula 2019 hanggang 2024. Ayon sa Ombudsman, lumobo ang net worth ni Duterte sa 88.4 million noong 2024 mula 7 million noong 2007.
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Good morning. Good morning. Before anything else, it is important that we begin by looking back. Because the work we have today is anchored on what has already been laid on record. Noong nakaraang pagdinig, April 14, we began by affirming our constitutional mandate, our exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. Nasa atin ang unang galaw, nasa atin ang direksyon, at hawak natin ang beat. Ngunit nabanggit din natin na malinaw ang limitasyon ng ating papel sa yugtong ito. Hindi pa ito paghuhusga. Our task at this stage is simply to determine probable cause kung may sapat na batayan upang magpatuloy. As Congressman Benny Abante stated, sisilipin natin kung may usok. Dahil kung may usok, tungkulin nating hanapin kung nasaan ang sunog. During our last hearing, we formally recognized the complainants, Father Sabalya and his group, and of course, Attorney Cabrera. All of them were present, ready to face this committee and stand by their complaints. But there was one thing we could not ignore. Something that was right in front of us. The empty chair of the Vice President. Wala po siya nitong nakaraan. Habang nandito ang mga nagrereklamo, ang tanging humarap sa atin ay isang bakanteng upuan. And yet, with or without the presence of the Vice President, with or without her cooperation, tuloy ang mandato ng komite. At umusad nga ang ating pagdinig noong araw na iyon. First, we formally received subpoena documents, all of which are now part of our record. Second, we heard a statement of Ramil Madriaga, who testified for the very first time in a public hearing. Through his supplemental affidavit, we were confronted with a staggering allegation that confidential funds were spent not just in 11 days, but were purportedly disposed of within a mere 24 hours. Hindi 11 araw, sa halip 24 oras. Milyones na naubos sa loob lamang ng isang araw. Mabigat ang mga binitiwang salita ni Ramil Madriaga at minsan pa siyang naiyak habang binabasa ang kanyang supplemental affidavit. To back his words, he signed a bank waiver to prove that he has nothing to hide. During one exchange, Congresswoman Janet Garin recalled the family controversy and could not hide her frustration upon hearing Ramil Madriaga's allegation that the Vice President's campaign may have been financed by family, an assertion that, if proven, further deepens the seriousness of the issues now before this committee. Third, and with the help of Congressman Joel Chua, we have adopted the records from the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability, the testimonies of various resource persons regarding the envelopes and the questionable receipts and other statements given in that legislative inquiry are now officially part of this impeachment process. Fourth, we heard from the NBI expert, and their findings are very clear. Kinumpirma nila na base sa kanilang pagsusuri, several question signatures were actually signed by one and the same person. This proves that there was a pattern, and it raises even more questions about who was really behind these documents. Magkakaiba ang mga pangalan, ngunit iisa ang perma. I will repeat, magkakaiba ang mga pangalan, ngunit iisa ang perma. Fifth, we heard from a representative of the PSA who confirmed that several personalities appearing in the records have no corresponding entries in official civil registries. Kabilang dito ang kontrobersyal na pangalang Mary Grace Piatos na batay sa kanilang verifikasyon ay walang umiiral na PSA record. Si Mary Grace Piatos ay wala sa data ng PSA. Sixth, we heard from Attorney Gloria Camora of the COA, who confirmed that the Commission proper has resolved the Vice President's appeal on the notice of disallowance, effectively affirming that this allowance covering more than 73 million pesos. She further disclosed that the COA has issued 3 additional notices of disallowance, indicating continued deficiencies in compliance. These developments lend significant weight to the financial irregularities under examination. As noted by Congressman Chel Jokno and Congressman Antonio Tino, this effectively render the Vice President liable to return all these amounts. 73 million pesos plus 375 million pesos to the National Treasury. Ang Vice Presidente ay may pananagutan na ibalik ang 73 million plus 375 million, total of 448 million sa ating National Treasury. And when we heard all these resource persons, the committee will note that while I disallowed certain probing questions to ensure fairness, I nonetheless permitted all inquiries that sought to clarify the truth. On that note, the records will reflect that the arguments regarding the difference between credibility and character, as well as the confusion between page numbers and dates, were stricken from the record. We have done this to maintain the integrity and order of these proceedings. Sa kabuuan, what we saw was not a single piece of evidence, but a body of evidence. Hindi pa isa-isa, kundi magkakaugnay. But after the hearing, the story did not end there. Sa katunayan, doon pa lamang nagsimula ang mas malakas na ingay sa labas. Marami ang nagulantang, marami ang nag-react. The hearing became the subject of headlines, discussions, statements, particularly from the Vice President. However, it is worth noting that instead of addressing the core issues, the focus shifted to a peripheral matter, ang academic performance umano ng Vice Presidente nung siya'y nag-aaral pa Samantalang, ang mas mabibigat na usapin tungkol sa confidential funds, sa mga dokumento, sa mga transaksyon ay nananatiling hindi direktang nasasagot. Kumbaga, sa 100 ebidensya, isa lang ang pinupuntirya. Let me be clear. This committee will not take anything at face value, whether said inside this hall or outside of it. Hindi tayo basta maniniwala sa ingay. We will evaluate everything dahil ang katotohanan ay hindi matatagpuan sa mga press release. Ito ay nakasandal sa mga dokumento at sa mga salaysay na sinumpaan. Sa totoo lang, na-ghost na nga tayo. Tila ginagaslight pa tayo. Ang mas mahalagang tanong ay kung nasaan ang pera. Ngunit ang sagot sa atin ay tungkol sa grado sa kolehiyo. And the worst part, this explanation is not being made here, but everywhere else. Ang gusto natin ay testimonya sa ilalim ng sumpa. Pero ang ibinibigay sa atin, press release at content sa social media. Again, let us be clear. Hindi tayo basta maniniwala. We will evaluate everything. Madriaga's testimony, COA documents, NBI findings, PSA certifications. Lahat ng ito ay kailangang iharap dito. Suriin dito. Timbangin dito. Pero dapat dito. Humarap ang kailangang humarap. Manumpa at magpaliwanag dito sa committee ito. Because this is the proper forum. Hindi sapat ang magsalita sa labas. If there's anything to clarify, the best and the only place to do that is here, before this committee, under oath and on record. And that brings us to today. Ngayong April 22, malinaw, the work of this committee continues. Ang mga isyong inilahad ay hindi natapos noong nakaraan. Today, we expect further evidence from the Office of the Ombudsman, from the Bureau of Internal Revenue, from the Securities and Exchange Commission, and especially from the Anti-Money Laundering Council. We also anticipate testimonies that will help contextualize the data before us, and that includes from former Senator Sani Trillanes. Kung mapapansin ninyo, ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon, mga numero, SALN, tax records from BIR, reports from AMLC. This is the part where the numbers have to be studied, compared, analyzed, and numbers, take note, unlike people, numbers do not have motives. Numbers do not lie. Again, numbers do not lie. At dito po, nagiging mas mabigat ang usapan. Because when we speak of numbers, We are no longer dealing with opinion, spin, or even narrative. We are confronting cold, unyielding facts. Hindi ito napapakiusapan. Hindi ito natatakot. Hindi ito napipilit magsinungaling. A number either matches or it does not. At higit sa lahat, hindi po ito basta numero lamang. Pera ito ng taong bayan. Pera ito ng manggagawang Pilipino na araw-araw kumakayod, ng pamilyang nagtitipid para makabayad ng buwis, ng bawat Pilipinong umaasa na ang kanilang ambag ay napupunta sa tama. A peso is either accounted for or it is missing. At kapag pinagsama-sama ang mga numerong ito mula sa SALN, BIR, AMLC, they begin to tell a story which no press conference can rewrite, no diversion can erase. Because numbers, once laid bare, speak with a clarity that cuts through noise. And when they point to a discrepancy, they do not whisper. They demand to be answered. Kung ayaw magsalita ng tao, kung ayaw humarap ng vice-presidente, hayaan natin na ang mga numero ang magkwento. Sa hearing na ito, we shall therefore enter the territory of forensic truth. Sa pamamagitan ng mga numerong ito, malalaman natin ang tunay na pagkatao sa likod ng posisyon. Siya ba ay tunay na public servant o isa pa lang private billionaire? At ang direksyon natin ngayon ay simple, ngunit matibay. We follow the evidence wherever it leads. Hindi tayo magpapadala sa ingay. Hindi tayo lilihis sa proseso. Ang ating sandigan ay ang konstitusyon at ang ating layunin ay ang katotohanan. Because in the end, ang tanong ay hindi kung sino ang pinakamalakas ang boses. Hindi kung sino ang pinakamaingay sa labas, kundi kung saan tayo itinuturo ng ebidensya. As we see it now, the chair right before us, it remains empty. At tila, sanay na po tayo sa tanawing iyan. Ngunit kahit bakante ang upuang iyan, even if that chair remains empty, this room is full of the people's questions. Napakaraming tanong. Mga tanong na sa kabila ng pag-iwas, hindi mawawala. Sa kabila ng pananahimik, hindi maglalaho. Mga tanong na kailanman ay hindi kayang takasan ng bakanteng upuan. Not today. Not anymore. Let the evidence speak. Let the numbers testify. Let the chips fall where they may be. Let us finally resume this hearing. With that, this committee shall proceed. The Honorable Joboy Aquino is recognized.
Yeah.
I would like to direct my clarificatory questions to the representative of AMLA.
Attorney Buenaventura,
Is that Attorney Bonaventura?
the Executive Director of Anti-Money Laundering Council.
Okay. For the record, Attorney, the AMLA received a subpoena coming from this committee for the production of documents, records. Am I correct?
Yes, yes, Madam Chair. We receive a copy of the subpoena.
Okay. Did you bring the subpoena documents today?
Yes, we have it with us. Is it possible for us to tender it, to transmit it now?
The committee secretariat is directed to approach Executive Director Buenaventura to receive the subpoenaed documents from the Anti-Money Laundering Council. The same will form part of the records of this proceeding. Honorable Joboy Aquino.
Madam Chair, may we ask that all the members be provided a copy of the report from
The
our-
COMSEC is directed to reproduce the documents and provide the same to the respondent vice president, the complainant, and all the justice members.
Madam Chair, the same
Honorable
request,
Adjong.
the same request is asked of the Committee Secretariat to provide the SALNs as we have already requested earlier, Mr. Chair. We still haven't gotten the
As far as the
copy of
SALNs is
SALNs.
concerned, I understand that we have directed the COMSEC already to provide the same to all the parties, including the justice members.
That is correct, Madam Chair. So we reiterate our request, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I continue?
You may
Madam Chair?
proceed, Honorable Joboy Aquino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Attorney, I understand that you have a cover letter which describes the documents that you have submitted. For the record, please tell us about these documents.
Did you mention a cover letter? Do you confirm having submitted a cover letter among the documents?
Yes.
Yes. May we direct the
Yes,
COMSEC?
Madam Chair.
Please find this cover letter and flash this in the screen for the guidance of the justice members.
Attorney, can you please
Okay.
describe those
All right.
documents to us?
So we are submitting two sets of documents. Number one is the covered transaction reports and suspicious transaction reports from the years 2006 to 2025 as subpoenaed. And then the second set, which is Annex B, are the financial intelligence reports as well as investigation reports on Vice President Sara Duterte as well as her husband Manasseh Carpio as indicated in the subpoena.
Okay, Attorney, to be clear, did you only initiate these reports because of this impeachment?
No, Madam Chair, we have, and Amlc has always been in constant monitoring of all the transactions, and while we have generated a latest one, all the data have been as far as back as early years.
Okay? And kanino po ang mga accounts ang mga nakasaan dito sa mga dokumento na dala ninyo?
Bali po, ito po ay mga accounts ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa kanyang individual or sole account. Kasama na rin po ang kanyang mga ka-joint account. Kasama ang kanyang pamilya o ibang tao o pati kanya ng asawa. At kasama na rin po ang account ng kanyang asawa na si Manasseh Carpio at ang kanyang mga ka-joint account na kapamilya niya o ibang tao man.
Salamat po. Pinakauli na lang pong tanong. Sa simpleng tanong lang po, no, Attorney, makikita po ba rito sa mga dokumentong dala nyo kung meron mga perang pumasok o lumalabas dito sa mga accounts na to?
Maaari po, maaari makita dahil yung pong report na covered transaction at suspicious transactions ay may makikita po tayo doon na mga transaksyon na maaring palabas at papasok po.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Keith Flores.
Madam Chair, medyo...
Is this a point of order?
Yes, point of order, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'm concerned with where we are going right now. We will now be discussing from the statements of the Amlc representative bank accounts. And I'm worried that the discussion might lead somewhere na pinagbabawal ng bank secrecy law. If that is the direction that the questions have been going and from the answers of the Amlc. Are we not, in effect, violating the bank secrecy law, Madam Chair?
For the guidance of the members, before I recognize the Honorable Dilima, the subject matter of the subpoena issued by the Justice Committee are not bank records. Instead, it is AMLC report uncovered in suspicious transactions. Likewise, the person we subpoenaed are not bank officials and employees. The person we subpoenaed is, of course, no less than the head of the Anti-Money Laundering Council. For the record, the coverage of bank secrecy law and for the guidance of the members are bank officials and employees and bank records. And the chair is of the opinion that the subject matter of our subpoena is apparently not covered by the protection of the bank secrecy law. The Honorable Dilima is recognized.
Before the Honorable Dilima answers, Madam Chair, I just want to, from your statements po, well, it is true na, yun nga, hindi nga banks ang sinupina natin, hindi din bank employees ang sinupina natin. But parang yung, from the answers kasi kanina, it would deal with certain bank accounts already, Madam Chair. So wouldn't that, in effect, be parang circumventing also the bank secrecy law?
The observation of the Honorable Keith Flores. Nonetheless, we are strictly compliant with the letters of the bank secrecy law. The Honorable Dilima is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tama po yung sinabi ng ating Chair na hindi po tayo sakop ng prohibition. Yes, meron ho tayong secrecy of bank deposits law na sinasabing sikreto, confidential, yung mga bank deposits, pero hindi po naman yan absolute rule na wala na siyang exception. Ang exception dyan, isa sa mga exception na yung cases of impeachment. Pero bago po ako to dwell on that, ay tungkol naman po dun sa sinasabing pwedeng may prohibition. Kasi nakalagay po sa Section 3 of the law itself.
Louder,
Republic
Honorable
Act,
Dilima, louder.
Republic Act number 1405 or the secrecy of bank deposits law, it is explicit. It applies only to officials and employees of banking institutions. Nakasabi po sa Section 3, it shall be unlawful for any official or employee of a banking institution to disclose to any person other than those mentioned in Section 2 hereof any information concerning said deposits. So, ang pinasabina po, kagaya nung sinabi ng ating chair, ay yung AMLC, AMLC. At hindi po bangko, at hindi po mismong bank accounts ang pinasabina natin. Ang pinasabina po natin ay yung record, if any, of suspicious or covered transactions. And let's note also na meron na rin tayo yung batas na Anti-Money Laundering Act or Republic Act number 9160. It further reinforces the position na wala tayong violation dito na nagaganap. It embodies the state's more recent and more specific policy that financial secrecy cannot be used to conceal unlawful activity. Sabi po sa batas na yan, Anti-Money Laundering Act, covered institutions, lalo na yung mga bangko, most notably the banks, are required to report suspicious transactions to the AMLC, and such reporting is expressly declared as not violative of the bank deposit secrecy law. Hindi po siya violative. So ang pinaproduce po natin based on the subpoena ay yung any record of suspicious or covered transactions affecting nga po si VP Sara. At nasabi po ng ating Executive Director ng AMLC na ang daladala niya ay precisely dalawang klase ng dokumento. Yung reports mismo on suspected or covered transactions sa mga accounts ni VP Sara, either singly, siya lang, o jointly. Meron siyang mga ka-joint account sa ibang tao, katulad ng kanyang asawa, katulad ng kanyang ama, katulad ng ibang miyembro pa ng kanyang pamilya. At ang pangalawa ay financial intel reports. At sakop po yan ng mandato. Kaya nga, rini-require yung pag-submit ng mga transactions na yan para i-report kung covered ang transactions at dinidetermine kung suspicious, kung may mga red flags yung mga transactions na yan na pwede makapagsabi na meron ditong gumagamit ng pera sa illegal o kaya sa money laundering. So I submit, Madam Chair, and going back, by the way, to I almost forgot, yung exception po yung cases of impeachment dyan sa bank secrecy deposit law. Cases of impeachment. So sakop po tayo dito. Kasi remember, the impeachment proceedings have been initiated already by the acts of the filing of the complaint and the referral of those multiple complaints, the original four complaints sa Justice Committee. And that initiated the impeachment proceedings. And so there is now a case of impeachment. The exception does not say in case of impeachment trial in the Senate. It says it's broader, it's more encompassing. In cases of impeachment. Yung nagaganap po sa atin ngayon, ito po ay impeachment proceedings na validly initiated complaints because they were referred and acted upon by the Committee on Justice. For those reasons, Madam Chair, ang aking pong position, firm position, wala po tayong linalabag na batas dito, lalo na yung Bank Secrecy Deposit Law or Republic Act 1405, 36 years later, ay meron ng amendment yung Anti-Money Laundering Act or the Republic Act number 9160. Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair. May I
The
be
Honorable
recognized?
Jokno,
Madam
and
Chair.
then the Honorable Marcoleta, and then the Honorable Ko.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Napakalinaw po ng bank secrecy law. May exception po siya para sa impeachment. Pero tanungin natin, bakit ba? And I think the reason is very clear as well. We cannot use the bank secrecy law as a shield to allow public officials to hide behind. Klarong-klaro po ang pinag-uusapan natin sa isang impeachment case ay pananagutan at kailangan maging transparent ang lahat ng mga public officials. Public office is a public trust. That's why it's very clear to me that this is not one of those cases where we cannot inquire into those deposits. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Marcoleta.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to manifest to clarify for the record whether this committee may require submission of AMLC records without a court order. Under the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001, suspicious transaction reports and covert transaction reports are confidential and may only be disclosed upon order of a court. Maliwanag po na wala pong clear statutory authority allowing disclosure of AMLC data to a congressional committee without judicial authorization, notwithstanding subpoena powers as guided by Sabio versus Gordon. For the record, I respectfully seek clarification of the committee regarding this matter. And if I may also cite, Madam Chair, the Anti-Money Laundering Act provides the state with a means to investigate suspicious financial transactions within a framework of judicial supervision. The Anti-Money Laundering Council is authorized to inquire into bank deposits even without the prohibition within the bank secrecy law, provided that the court order is issued by the courts. At may tanong din po ako. I will just paraphrase it into a manifestation since I'm not allowed to raise questions. I take it to mean na pag suspicious yung transaction, ibig bang sabihin na ito ay illegal na o unlawful na? Para kasing ganun lumalabas. Pag ito'y tinag na suspicious, agad-agad itong piniprejudge na as if it's an illegal or unlawful transaction. I want to be clarified on that, Madam Chair.
That
Thank
is
you.
a manifestation which does not require any answer. The Honorable Ko is
May
recognized.
I ask, ma'am, why does it not require an answer?
Because you are not a member of the Justice Committee and
It
therefore,
was paraphrased, ma'am, into a manifestation.
and that is why answer is not required. It is just a manifestation. If I require an answer, then I'm allowing you already to raise a clarificatory question. As simple as that. The Honorable Ko is recognized.
My point is, madam, it's pag sinabi bang suspicious account o suspicious transaction, ito ay nangangulugan na ito ay agad unlawful or illegal.
That is your manifestation. We end there. Honorable Ko is recognized.
And the Filipino people heard my manifestation.
Chair.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Chair, I'd just like to also manifest my agreement to the discussions on the applicability of the proceedings here and the authority of the House Committee on Justice to subpoena existing government records supposedly in possession of the Anti-Money Laundering Council in aid of the investigation for probable cause being done validly by the House Committee on Justice. Now, I'd also like to second the manifestation that the exception as provided in the bank secrecy law, while the position of the committee and the chair ay hindi naman applicable kasi ang nandoon at ang covered nun ay bank employees, nonetheless, there is a textual exception doon says, quote-unquote, in cases of impeachment. And may standing question kasi na dapat mag-apply lang tong exception na to sa Senate kasi yun na yung quote-unquote case of impeachment. Pero the 1987 Constitution is clear. Under Section 3, Article 11, the House of Representatives shall have the exclusive power to initiate all cases of impeachment. So what we're doing now is under the coverage of cases of impeachment. So clear naman po yung pagka-fit ng words ng 1987 Constitution and the bank secrecy law. And siguro, Madam Chair, I'd also just like to raise a general comment for the benefit of the public and not specifically to answer any specific comment by members, but also para ma-enlighten yung public. Yung nakalagay po sa Section 11, na quote-unquote bank inquiry power requiring a court order, hindi naman po nakalimit doon yung kakayahan ng AMLC to produce documents. Lalo na if the AMLC reports or information is already in possession of AMLC prior to the starting of the impeachment proceedings as confirmed by AMLC earlier. Any reports of transactions, hawak na nila. And under the valid processes of this government agency, kinakausap yung kapwa government agency na i-produce yung information na hawak nila, rumirespondi po sila accordingly. May lawful authority po ang government agency na ito na gawin yon, i-ask yon from a different government agency. So yun po, fully covered yung lahat pong ginagawa ng House Committee on Justice on these impeachment proceedings. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Now, can we proceed to the report of AMLC?
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Adjong is recognized.
Madam Chair, if Congressman Joboy Aquino is done with his questioning, I'd like to ask AMLC.
Honorable Joboy Aquino, are you done with your
Yes,
clarificatory questions?
Finally, I'm done.
Yes,
Madam
so
Chair.
we can now
Thank
proceed
you.
to Honorable Adjong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Magandang hapon na po. Magandang hapon po sa atin lahat. I'd like to direct my questions to Amlc. Brad, magandang hapon. Your position as Executive Director of AMLC is not an ordinary opinion, no? It's actually created and governed by a certain law. Can you confirm to me that this law is the RA 9160?
Yes, Madam Chair, it is governed by the Anti-Money Laundering Act, which is RA 9160 as amended.
Thank you. And Section 8 of that law mandates, the law that mandates your position demands a certain qualifications, no? Just to be brief about it, I would like to enumerate to you the qualifications by which you are entitled or you are allowed or qualified at least to hold that position that you're occupying right now. Number one is you must be a lawyer, at least 35 years old with it. You have of course, unquestionable integrity and possess at least 5 years of experience in financial regulatory institutions like the BSP, Securities and Exchange Commission, or any insurance commission. In your professional view, Madam Chair, Executive Director, bakit kinakailangan mag-set ng ganitong klaseng standards for an Executive Director of AMLC?
I may not answer in a of my professional view, but I can offer my personal view.
Yeah.
And that is the position of the Executive Director and the leadership of the Anti-Money Laundering Council Secretariat requires technical proficiency as well as, and most importantly, I think, the ability to ensure impartiality and to act independently. We are navigating, or the work of the AMLC navigates a lot of complex financial structures, financial systems, and it is our duty to make sure that we are always impartial in the things that we do.
Okay, very good. So, ibig sabihin, the work that your position demands you have to have a deep understanding, no, of sabi mo nga, of complex financial systems, no, and a high level of probity to handle sensitive information impartially. Tama ba?
Yes.
That you said you mentioned earlier that you have to work independently. Does that also mean that you have to be impartial?
Yes.
When doing your work. Tama po ba?
Yes, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Para po for the benefit of the public, because Madam Chair, I'm sure a lot of our kababayan now are watching, no? Marami kanina, I was listening to the exchanges of some of my colleagues here, and Representative Laila De Lima mentioned the phrase money laundering, no? Parati ho natin ito naririnig, Madam Chair, no? In simple terms, no, for the benefit of our ordinary kababayan, ano ba ibig sabihin ng money laundering? Kasi you can be technical in your explanation, or you can be, sabi nga ni Congressman Garin, laymanize it.
Honorable
The
Adjong
understanding
is
for-
just requesting for an explanation as to the nature of money laundering as an offense.
Yeah. The money laundering, Mr. Chair, because my questions is premised on the mandate of the AMLC so that we can fully understand
For the
what-
benefit of the
what-
viewing public.
Yeah. That's
So-
correct, Madam Chair. So,
To put it simply, money laundering is a process whereby proceeds from illegal activities are concealed or cleaned and make them appear as coming from legitimate activities. So the term itself is laundering or cleaning of dirty money, and hence we have that term money laundering.
So ibig sabihin, Madam Chair, kung I will attempt to translate it into Tagalog. Hindi po ako Tagalog, Maranao po ako, pero ito po yung pagkaintindi ko based on your explanation. Ibig sabihin, yung mga possible na pumapasok halimbawa na pera na hindi sa mabuti o sa illegal ang source ay, kumbaga, ano yung launder sa Tagalog? Nilalaba, no? Nilalaba, tama ba? I beg the indulgence of the committee. Nilalabahan para it would appear as if nasa yung source ng pera na ito ay nasa illegal at tamang sources. Tama po ba yung aking pag-interpret or pag-translate into Tagalog?
Agree po ako. Tama po. Ang layunin po ng paglaban sa money laundering ay maiwasan na itong mga pera na galing sa illegal ay maitago sa otoridad o maipakita na galing di umano sa malinis sa paraan when sa totoo hindi naman talaga.
Okay. Earlier, Madam Chair, I was listening also to some of the comments of our colleagues, and they mentioned certain phrases, like for example, red flag indicators. Kanina, I was also listening to the exchanges between Congressman Flores and Congresswoman De Lima. Is it correct, Madam Chair, ED, that ang mandato po ng AMLC ay hindi lamang basta tumingin sa mga bank accounts, kundi mag-analyze na rin, no? Mag-analyze na rin ng mga yung tinatawag na red flag indicators o yung mga kahina-hinalang transaction, no? As you have explained to us earlier, na posible may pumapasok na hindi sa tamang hinahide, no? Or ang tawag na hinahide, yung tinatago na galing sa hindi illegal na sources at ito'y pretending to be nilalabahan o minalaunder, no, para ipakita tama. So the only way for you to do that is there also for you to analyze certain inflow of money, no, in certain bank accounts that would tend to make you realize, based on your assessment, that this might also cover or indicate some red flag indicators. Tama po ba?
Tama po. Nabanggit niyo po yung mandato ng AMLC and ang mandato po niya ay panatilihin ang integridad ng financial system natin, na dapat malinis ang financial system natin. At isa sa pinakamalaga, kung hindi man pinakamalaga sa gawain namin ng AMLC ay ang mag-analyze ng mga transactions at aksyonan kung ano man ang makita tungkol dito.
Okay, so when you do the analyzation of the red flag indicators, kasi mayroon din kayong sinasabing, may terms na sinasabi na covert transaction and yung sinasabi nating suspicious transactions. And this is by way of analyzing yung sinasabing kung may red flag indicators pa at kung wala, no? So can you, no, for the benefit again of this committee and perhaps the general public, can you try to define ano po yung pagkakaibahan pag sinabi mong covert transaction at saka sinasabi mong suspicious transactions?
Am I allowed to speak na lang po in Filipino sa mas madali po maipaliwanag?
Mas maganda magpaliwanag ka na lang. Ako, hindi nga ako Tagalog, pero nagtatagalog ako para maintindihan ng ating taong bayan. So, feel free to explain it in Filipino.
Yung covert transaction po sa konteksto ng financial institutions or particularly for banks, ito ay ang transaction na mahigit sa 500,000 piso or 500,000 sa loob ng isang araw. Automatic po itong nire-report ng mga bangko sa AMLC. Yun naman pong suspicious transactions ay mga transaksyon na wala namang halaga o hindi kailangan na na mataas o mababa sa particular na halaga, so kahit anong halaga siya, pero ang bangko ay may nakikita na kaduda-duda or may nakita siya na kahina-hinala or parang kakaibang red flag doon sa galaw ng transaksyon na yon, sa account na yon. Kapag ganun po, nire-report din siya sa amin.
So mayroong hindi malinaw or naligal na basihan, no? O kahina-hinala yung flow nung pumapasok at lumalabas na pera, tama po ba?
Apo, so halimbawa po
yun
niyan.
Yun po yung sinasabi nating suspicious transaction, tama? Yeah. Would you like to further explain?
Opo, magbigay lang ako ng halimbawa kasi sa Section 3 ng batas, mayroong mga enumeration po doon. Isa doon ay kapag meron kang pumapasok o lumalabas na pera sa account mo, pero hindi malinaw kung ano ang pinanggalingan or saan nanggaling.
Okay. So when you do the analyzation, para ma-determine nyo whether this transaction covers yung sinasabing suspicious transaction, do you analyze it based on certain personalities? Halimbawa, na involved doon sa, let's say, in certain bank deposits? Do you rely on personality or do you simply just analyze these transactions based on, based on the inflow of the money and the outflow of the money, based on the data and the number of the transactions involved?
So, hindi po kami namimili ng personality. Ang tinitignan po namin dito ay yung data at yung numbers. So, ang titignan namin more than the people behind is ano ba yung movement, flow, frequency nung daloy ng pera at kung meron bang kakaiba dito sa daloy na to. So, hinahabol po namin yung pera, hindi yung tao sa likod ng pera.
So makatwid, you do not bother yourself with personality, who may be involved in this suspicious transaction na sinasabi mo, whether the account is an account of a high-ranking official or a clergyman or anybody for that matter, hindi kayo doon nagbabase doon sa kung sino yung holder ng bank account na ito, but rather you are actually following the inflow and outflow of these transactions, particularly the bank deposits and the outflow of this money, that actually has a certain, that gives you question that this is not, has no legal basis whatsoever, and this could probably be part of the suspicious transaction kasi walang ma-explain na po pwedeng pagkunan. Tama po ba?
Tama po. We apply our processes uniformly. Hindi po kami tumitingin sa personality or sa kung sino man. Ang tinitingnan lang namin dito is, meron bang kakaiba dito na dapat pagtuunan pa ng investigasyon?
So you don't direct actually your examination based on a certain political direction, but you follow where the money trails, where it will direct you. Tama ba?
Tama po yun.
Okay. So ibig sabihin, Madam Chair, it is very clear to say that your participation here does not dictate any political consideration, but you are actually here by virtue of the invitation of the committee, would also like to, explain to the committee some certain transactions that are in question that are covered by the complaints filed before the Committee on Justice. Would that be correct?
Tama po. Tama po.
Okay, sige. So, very clear po, Madam Chair, just to lay the premise na baka itong hearing natin na ito is just we are dealing with a certain personality kasi ang respondent natin, ang Vice Presidente, ay baka sabihin ng iba na we are doing this precisely to direct towards a political objective, but based on the explanation of AMLA, with their participation in this committee, they are not, number one, they are not confined with boxing their investigation whenever there's a suspicious transactions on personality, whether it's high-ranking or whether anybody, for as long as that number covers or that number determines a certain suspicious transaction, AMLA would really dig into the matter. Tama pa po yan?
Tama po.
Ang aking analysis. Okay,
Babase lang po kami sa evidence po. At
okay,
saka kung
based
ano
on
yung
the
nasa
evidence,
records.
tama.
Opo.
So, Madam Chair, finally, for my last question, kung wala po kayong nakitang anomalya o red flag sa inyong opisina, wala po sana kayo dito, Tama po, as you have indicated earlier. Ang inyong pagpunta po dito at pagsumite ng mga dokumento ay patunay na may red flag indicators. Would that be correct?
Meron pong mga
Red flag indicators.
STR, CTR.
And the documents that were subpoenaed by this committee ay meron pong mga red flag indicators. As you have explained earlier,
Apo.
no, na yung transaction is very suspicious, no? Yun nga, would you confirm also that these red flag indicators covers now the respondents that we are being, that is now being heard by this committee?
Tama po.
Tama. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other member who wish to
Madam
raise
Chair.
clarificatory questions?
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Suntay and then the Honorable Marcoleta.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through the AMLA. May I know what are the instances when the AMLC can provide or inquire into bank deposits? What are the instances?
I think they do not inquire. Reports are being
Because under
submitted to
Republic
them.
Act, Madam Chair, under Republic Act number 9160, the Anti-Money Laundering Council has significant authority under the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Now, there are two instances when they can inquire into bank deposits. One is with court order, and the second without court order. So with court order, when can this be done? Now, with court order, when the AMLC can inquire into deposits if there is probable cause.
May
that the
I
funds are
confirm
related to
from
unlawful
AMLA first
activity.
if the subpoena documents are consequences of your bank inquiry or these were received by way of reporting of the banks or other financial companies in relation to the implementation of AMLA?
Madam Chair, I confirm that these documents are based on the CTRs and STRs, and these are the subject of the subpoena that we have submitted.
These are generated because of the reports
Yes, Madam.
submitted by the banks.
Yes, Madam Chair.
And bank inquiry, which is being contemplated by the Honorable Suntay, is different from the reports which are being submitted.
That is correct, Madam Chair.
So, Honorable Suntay, if this has reference to the subject matter of the impeachment, I hope we can confine our questions to what appears in the subpoena documents.
Yes, Madam Chair. This is related to what has been subpoenaed because what has been subpoenaed would be presented by.
Yes, but these
the
are
AMLA.
not these
That's
are
why
not consequences
I'm
of
inquiring,
bank
Madam
inquiry.
Chair. I'm inquiring when they could submit such things, such documents.
Let me just
But in what
clarify,
instances?
Honorable Suntay, for the guidance of the justice members, the subpoena documents are generated from the reports of the banks. These are not consequences of the bank inquiry conducted by the AMLC. That is for the record.
And to Madam Chair.
Yes,
just-
Madam Chair, but the bank records, if you see that, if you read the complaints, both complaints which was filed, it did not specifically state what was in the bank. In fact, in the bank account, there were
As
no
a matter of fact,
specificity.
Honorable
So,
Suntay, the subject matter of the subpoena are not bank records. This is AMLC report. Please make a distinction between the two.
yes, Madam Chair, but what will AMLC report on? Wouldn't it be what is contained in the bank accounts?
Can you just describe based on what has been reported by the bank? Because I understand that with or without order, the banks voluntarily report to you
That is correct, Madam Chair.
if there are covered and suspicious transactions. So
Madam-
just limit your answer to what is contained in your report.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Sige, can you go on?
Madam, sir, Mr.
Can you restate your question?
Now, we have called AMLC to, because we would like to inquire what the banks has
These are
reported to
covered
them.
transactions and
The
suspicious
covered
transactions as
suspicious
described earlier.
transactions. So, to determine what is a suspicious transaction, who determines it? AMLA or the bank?
The banks.
The bank. And they submit accounts.
That is voluntary
what is
submission.
contained in the accounts. Is that correct?
The reports of the transactions, not necessarily just the account. So sometimes there is no account yet, but they do submit if there is anything anomalous with the transaction. So it doesn't necessarily involve an account.
Okay.
But it may
So
involve an
when
account.
is an account considered anomalous?
Wait, account is not a subject matter of the subpoena. The subject matter of the subpoena are covered transaction and suspicious transaction.
Okay. Then when
Honorable
is a
Suntay, please be
transaction
reminded
considered...
to limit your
Madam Chair,
questions to the
yes.
subject matter of the
When is a
subpoena.
transaction considered anomalous?
Suspicious.
Please use the term covered or suspicious. Because that
Covered
is the
or
subject
suspicious?
matter of our subpoena.
Okay, madam. Covered or suspicious?
Under Section 3 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, there is a definition of what constitutes suspicious transactions. Number one is if there's no underlying legal or trade obligation. Number two is if there is no economic, the client is not properly identified. Number three is if the amount involved is not commensurate to the business or the financial capacity of the client. And the next would be taking into account all the circumstances. There is a perceived transaction, the perceived transaction of the client is being structured. Number five is if there is an unlawful activity, if the client committed an unlawful activity or is in any way related to money laundering. Number six is if there's a deviation, observed deviation from the acts of the or behavior of the client's profile. And number seven is any other analogous transactions similar to the those enumerated.
Okay. Sige. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Marcoleta.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Again, you are allowed only to manifest.
Yes, Madam. Let me state for the record that the committee have required the submission of AMLC records without a court order. And let me reiterate that under the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001, suspicious transaction reports and covert transaction reports are confidential and may only be disclosed upon order of a court. The House of Representatives Committee on Justice does not have the authority to direct the AMLC by issuing a legislative subpoena and consequently cannot bypass the probable cause requirement of the court. The report of suspicious transactions are meant to be used by the AMLC for analysis and its own determination of probable cause, where required by the judiciary. That's my manifestation, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
The manifestations
Madam Chair.
are noted.
Madam Chair.
Any other member who wishes to
Madam Chair.
manifest or raise
Madam
clarificatory question? The Honorable Jokno and then the Honorable Ko.
Madam Chair.
Just a counter manifestation, Madam Chair.
You may proceed.
We have to emphasize this, that the bank secrecy law itself provides, and I quote, all deposits are hereby considered as of an absolutely confidential nature, just like the AMLA law, except in cases of impeachment. Iba po yung exception sa court order sa exception in cases of impeachment. And I believe that the reason is very clear because we are here speaking of accountability of public officers. If we allow the bank secrecy law to become a tool that will hide key evidence from the Committee on Justice, magiging baliwala po yung impeachment process. This will become an exercise in futility. Hindi natin magagampanan ng ating tungkulin kung nakatakip ang ating mga mata. And that's why to fulfill our duty under the Constitution and to the people, the committee must exercise its power to examine all the evidence, including the records coming from the Anti-Money Laundering Council regarding covered and suspicious transactions linked to Vice President Sara Duterte. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam
Madam
Chair.
Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Ko.
Madam Chair, I'm making this manifestation to clarify to the public the difference between what we're doing and the cited Section 11 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Under the Anti-Money Laundering Act, Section 11, sabi po doon that the Anti-Money Laundering Council, AMLC, may inquire into or examine particular deposits, etc. under order of any competent court. Ina-assume po nito na ang AMLC, hindi pa niya hawak yung impormasyon na kailangan niya. Meron siyang napapansin na something, no? Tas kailangan niya ng additional information and gusto niyang mag-inquire further, pwedeng gawin ito ng AMLC, mag-inquire yung AMLC kung may nakuha siyang court order. Iba po yun sa ginagawa natin ngayon. Ang ginagawa po ngayon, tayo bilang House Committee on Justice, dahil we're acting upon the people's complaint for impeachment against VP Sara Duterte, and kasama dun sa complaint, no, yung mga financial assets ni VP, no, we're asking the AMLC, based on available information and intelligence that it has, no, prior sa pagsimula ng impeachment proceedings na to, may alam ba kayo tungkol sa possible covered transactions or suspicious transactions na pwede niyong i-report? So, this is to clarify to the public that Section 11 actually does not apply in this case. No, ang tinataya po ng AMLC now, meron pong mga reports na na-receive sila from banks, no, and hindi po cause yung pag-collate nila ng reports na yon because merong impeachment proceedings na nangyayari. Hawak na po nila yon prior pa. So ngayon, gusto nating marinig from AMLC ano yung contents ng report na yon, so that we can finally move on to the next parts of the proceedings, which is ano bang implications ng kung ano mang covered or suspicious transactions yung kaya pong i-report ng AMLC. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Next is the Honorable D.S. Beron.
Madam Chair.
Yes, I know that the Filipino people are waiting to see and hear the report of the AMLC on covered and suspicious transactions. So with the indulgence of the justice members, we have been repeatedly discussing about the legality of the issuance of the subpoena and the disclosure of the report. Let me reiterate, we did not subpoena the bank records. We did not subpoena the bank officials and employees. What we subpoenaed is AMLC report, and the executive director is right before us to share with us, ready to report on what they've seen as covered and suspicious transactions. So I hope after DS Beron, we can proceed to hear the report of the AMLC.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Only one question directed to ED Benaventura. Attorney, Madam Chair, in your monitoring and analysis of covered and suspicious transactions, may I know if you're able to identify any suspicious transaction involving the accounts linked to VP Sara or her family? That's all, Madam Chair.
Again, for the guidance of the Honorable Biron, with all due respect, the subject matter of the subpoena is not the account. The subject matter of the subpoena is covered transactions and suspicious transactions. That is for the guidance of all the members.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Would you like to answer, ED?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Kindly limit your answers to the subject matter of the subpoena.
Yes, there are suspicious transactions and covered transactions found in our system, database, or record.
Does that satisfy the Honorable
Yes,
Biron?
thank you, Madam Chair.
Now we recognize the Honorable Terry Ridon.
Madam Chair, thank you. Maraming salamat po. Magandang araw po sa Anti-Money Laundering Council. Meron po kayong mga dala pong mga dokumento, hindi po ba? So may
Tama.
cover letter at meron po tayong mga reports, no?
Apo.
Relating to the accounts of transactions of Vice President Sara Duterte and Attorney Man Scarpio. Can we refer to the cover letter first, and we'd like you to read it in full for the benefit of everyone.
Right? The Executive Director Buenaventura is directed to read the letter. That is in relation to the submission of the documents.
subject subpoena ad testificandum et ducestecum issued by the House of Representatives Committee on Justice in relation to the impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte. This refers to the issuance of the House of Representatives Committee on Justice of the subpoena ad testificandum et ducestecum in relation to the verified complaints for impeachment against Vice President Sara Z. Duterte, requiring the Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLC to bring on or before 22 April 2026, 10 a.m., the original or certified true copies of all reports of covert transactions and suspicious transactions reported by any and all banks to the Anti-Money Laundering Council or AMLC involving Sara Duterte, Carpio, and or Manasseh Carpio, covering the period starting from 2006 to 2025, and any and all investigations or reports or related reports or documents prepared by AMLC involving the reported covert transactions and suspicious transactions. In compliance with the subpoena, the AMLC formally transmits the original and or certified true copies of the following documents. So Annex A, Covert Transaction Report, CTRs, and Suspicious Transaction Reports, or STRs, for the period 2006 to 2025. Annex B, Financial Intelligence Reports on Vice President Sara Duterte Carpio, and Annex C, Investigation Reports on A. Manasseh Carpio and B. Sara Duterte Carpio and Manasseh Carpio. We also provide the following summary. For Sara Duterte Carpio, number of CTRs 313, number of STR 17, total amount involved 3,772,760,972 pesos and 48 centavos. Total amount of inflow 1,832,539,360 pesos and 45 centavos. Total amount of outflow 1,211,365,529 pesos and 75 centavos. For Manasseh Carpio, number of CTRs 317, number of STRs 16, total amount involved 2,988,466,740 and 47 centavos. Total amount of inflow 2,592,904 2,592,904,434 pesos and 24 centavos. Total amount of outflow 343,315,781 pesos and 7 centavos. Total for both 630, number of CTRs 630, number of STRs 33, total amount involved 6,771,227,712.95 and 95 centavos. Total amount of inflow 4,425,443,794 and 69 centavos. Total amount of outflow 1,554,681,310 and 82 centavos. There are undetermined inflow or outflow transactions based on our system, but we see transaction movement, so we categorize it as undetermined. So that is 791,102,607 and 44 centavos.
Just for the record, ED, are the figures accurate? Yes or no?
As of we submitted today, yes.
Are they accurate?
Based on our records, yes.
You're saying yes?
Based on the records,
That's
yes.
for the record.
Madam Chair, wala po yun sa SALN.
Honorable Sua, do you want to be recognized?
Sinasabi ko lang po, di wow.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair, if I may be allowed to proceed.
Wait. The floor is with the Honorable Ridon.
Thank you for reading for the record the cover letter.
You will be called Vice Chair Dumogan after the Honorable
no.
Ridon.
It's not a question. May we be furnished copies of
Yes.
that report submitted for our guidance?
May we direct the COMSEC to please provide copy of the cover letter, at least para mabilis, no? Because the attachments are really voluminous. Kindly provide Justice members copy of the cover letter.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair,
Wait,
Madam Chair,
is
regarding
this a point of order?
regarding the
Because the
copies
floor is
of-
with the
no,
Honorable Tino.
just with regard to the request for copies.
Yes.
Kasi actually kanina pa kahit yung mga SALN bibigyan daw kami pero hindi rin naman nabigyan pa.
I think the photocopier is in the
Oh.
other building.
Yes, baka pwede po yung e-copy na muna kung meron.
Email.
Baka mas mabilis.
Okay.
Opo.
COMSEC,
Para may reference kami.
kindly send soft copy to the corresponding email accounts of the Justice members of the available documents already. Honorable Ridon, you may proceed.
Okay, ngayon naman po pag-usapan po natin yung mga detalye nito po nga mga transactions po na ito. I have a document with me which is titled Confidential Information Sharing, subject Vice President Sara Duterte and Manasseh R. Carpio. Do you have the same copy, Executive
Yes, Madam
Director
Chair.
Benaventura?
Yeah.
Can we flash the document on the screen, please, Secretariat? So we would want to direct the Executive Director not to read the entirety of it because it is a bit voluminous, but we would want him to read particular portions of it. I refer you to page 2 of the document, Summary of Transactions. Can you read from that point until
Can
numbers-
we flash the document referred to by the Honorable Ridon? COMSEC, please be directed as well to provide a copy of the summary of transactions to the Justice members.
Can we suspend so that we can flash the document for the benefit of everyone, Madam Chair?
COMSEC, please flash the document summary of transactions. While we are waiting for the document subject matter of the clarificatory questions of the Honorable Ridon, with the indulgence of the Honorable Ridon, we recognize first the Honorable DS Janet Garin.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat rin po, Congressman Terry Ridon, for the quick interjection. While we are waiting for the documents, Madam Chair, may I propound some clarificatory questions to the AMLC representative. Kanina po nasabi niya, covered transaction reports and suspicious transaction reports. Pag sinabi po pang covered, nasabi niyong may basihan. Tama po ba o mali?
Tama po. Ito po yung lahat ng transaction kapag nireport ng bangko, kailangan lagpas 500,000 pesos.
At pag sinabing covered, Madam Chair, ang ibig po ba sabihin nun ay tiningnan nyo pero merong basihan or justifiable na legal ang transaksyon na ito? Tama po ba o hindi? Covered transaction reports.
Sa report lang po ng bangko sa amin, hindi pa po namin ma-determine at that point.
Okay. When we say suspicious transaction reports, ano po ba, Madam Chair, ang pagkakaiba ng covered transaction reports vis-a-vis suspicious transaction reports?
So, unang-una po, yung suspicious transaction reports, wala po siyang halaga. It can be below 500,000, maaari pong 10,000, 20, 30, 50. Maaari din pong sobrang laki na lumagpas din ng 500,000. Pero ang pinagkaiba po niya sa suspicious transaction, ang tinitingnan po natin or ng covered person or ng bangko na nagre-report, meron bang mga kahinahinala na mga transaction or galaw doon sa kanyang galaw nung kliyente niya. So kasama na po dito yung mga nabanggit ko kanina na enumeration na nabanggit po kanina nung nagtanong po. Pero nagbigay rin po ako ng halimbawa na medyo madali masundan. Halimbawa nga po yung kung meron pumasok o lumabas na pera pero walang malinaw na basihan or pinanggalingan or pundasyon kung bakit meron kang ganitong transaksyon.
If The Secretariat is not yet ready, Madam Chair. May I proceed to my next clarificatory question? Nakasaad kanina sa cover letter nyo ang sinabi nyong financial intelligence reports. Can the Honorable Representative from AMLAC define what a financial intelligence report means?
Ang Financial Intelligence Report po ay isang report na ginagawa ng aming mga analyst na kinukuha nila ang mga transactions na na-report sa amin, tinitignan, ina-analyze, meron bang patterns, meron bang galaw na kakaiba, o normal lang ba ito? So, meron po silang mga points of analysis. So, they will prepare this financial investigation report based solely on the reports provided and reported to us by the covered persons like banks.
And these are included in the documents that you have submitted, sir?
Tama
Madam
po.
Chair.
Meron po kaming naisubmit po.
So, Madam Chair, maybe the Secretariat is already ready?
May we know if the Secretariat is ready to flash the summary of transactions? Comsec? Not yet ready? Would you like to proceed, Honorable DS Garin? They're
Let
still
me
scanning.
proceed. Kasi nga, hinihintay nga natin yung mga kopya. Kapag sinabing financial intelligence reports, makikita ba natin dito o nakasaad ba dito yung bakit pinagdududahan ng AMLAC yung transaction na ito?
Meron na pong konting analysis po yon. So, maaari pong may...
Yeah, Madam Chair, let me repeat my question. Yung tanong ko po, nakasaad po ba doon sa financial intelligence report kung
Apo.
bakit pinagdududahan ng AMLAC ang transaksyon na ito?
Apo, meron po.
Yeah. Although not directly related, Madam Chair, but in the exercise of their function, may I inquire from AMLAC, ano po ba usually ang mga kausa or the causes kapag kayo ay nagdududa? These are transactions related to what, Madam Chair?
Unang-una po is kapag itong transaction na to ay may kinalaman sa mga predicate crimes o yung mga krimen na nakasaad sa AMLA.
Pwede po ba nating himayin, Madam Chair, ano po ba ang sinasabing predicate crime? Magbigay po tayo ng halimbawa.
Sa batas po, may sa Anti-Money Laundering Act, may nakalagay na mga krimen na pinanggagalingan nitong mga proceeds ng mga illegal na activity. At ilan po sa mga predicate crimes na meron tayo ay bribery, corruption, fraud, drugs, kidnapping for ransom, plunder, robbery, extortion, huweteng, masyaw, violation of tax crime.
Income, kunyari, income galing sa negosyo, yan po ba covered ng suspicious or covered transaction o hindi?
Kapag po lumagpas ng 500,000 yung isang transaksyon, ire-report po yun as covered transaction.
Pero tinitingnan nyo kung siya ba napasok bilang income sa mga negosyo na nakasaad.
Ang bangko po yung unang nakakakita nun dahil sila po yung may kliyente doon sa individual na yun at yung bangko po yung nagre-report sa amin.
And in other words, again, is the Secretariat ready or not yet?
They are ready.
Okay, I submit, Madam Chair.
We are temporarily suspending the clarificatory questions of the Honorable Garin to give back the floor to Honorable Terry Ridon. Please flash the document summary of transactions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May we request the Executive Director to read number 2 to number 7 of this particular report.
Summary of transactions. VPSARA's accounts generated a total of 371 large transactions and 30 suspicious transactions from 13 October 2005 to 20 January 2026 with transaction amounts reaching as high as 55.158 million. Additionally, transactions involving other parties' accounts wherein VPSARA was identified as the beneficiary and/or counterparty, comprised 15 large transactions and 1 suspicious transaction from 20 June 2006 to 2 April 2025, with amounts reaching up to 7.44 million. Historical trend of transaction reports. A review of the AMLC database records show a total of 417 transactions amounting to approximately 3.92 billion from 2005 to 2026, reflecting substantial financial activity over a long period. Transaction activity was relatively limited in the earliest years, with only 1 transaction recorded in 2005, 540,000, before increasing significantly starting 2007, when transaction values surged to 208.15 million. Financial movements intensified between 2009 and 2013, with consistently high annual totals exceeding 400 million, including notable peaks in 2009, 704.93 million, 2010, 648.58 million, and 2011, 597.15 million. Activity gradually moderated from 2014 onward, with annual transaction values generated ranging between 40 million and 85 million, except for smaller movements in 2023, 4.78 million, and 2025, 1.06 million. A moderate uptick was again observed in 2024, 13.45 million, before declining in 2025 and early 2026, indicating reduced financial activity in the most recent period.
Kindly read the year-on-year amounts and number of transactions from 2005 to 2026, and also the grand total before proceeding.
Year 2005, number of transactions 1, amount 540,000. 2006, number of transactions 12, 185,485,299.4 pesos and 42 centavos. 2007, number of transactions 14, 208,154,545 pesos and 99 centavos.
Before proceeding, I'd like to state for the record that the net worth of the Vice President, as stated in the SALN for 2007, is only 7.250 million. Please proceed.
2008, number of transactions 7, 46,901,376. 2009, 27 transactions.
Before proceeding, I'd like to state for the record that for 2008, the net worth of the Vice President, as stated in her 2008 SALN, was only 18.493 million pesos. Please proceed. 2009.
2009, number of transactions 27, amount 704,928,792 and pesos and 32 centavos.
We would like to state for the record that for 2009, the net worth of the Vice President then was 18.281 million, as stated in her 2009 SALN. Please proceed.
Both manifestations are noted by the committee.
2010, number of transactions 34, amount 648,582,662.40.
Before proceeding, I'd like to state for the record that for 2010, the net worth of the Vice President then was 16.242 million, as stated in her 2010 SALN. Please proceed.
Manifestation is noted.
2011, number of transactions 26, 597,152,536 pesos and 97 centavos.
I'd like to state for the record that for 2011, the SALN net worth of the Vice President was 14.271 million, as stated in her 2011 SALN.
Manifestation is noted.
Please proceed.
2012, number of transactions 15, the amount 407,875,524 and 23 centavos.
Before proceeding, we'd like to state for the record that the net worth of the Vice President for 2011 was 14,271,000,000 as stated in her 2011 SALN. Please proceed.
Manifestation is noted.
2012, number of transactions 15, amount 407,875 407,875,524 pesos and 23 centavos. For 2013, number of transactions 14, amount 406,864,909 pesos and 28 centavos. 2014, number of transactions 15, amount is 252,427,031 pesos and 76 centavos. 2015, number of transactions 25, amount 85,141,813. 2016, number of transactions 13, amount 46,407,353 and 81 centavos. 2017, number of transactions
Before proceeding, we'd like to state for the record that the net worth of the Vice President in 2016 was 34,895,000 as stated in her 2016 SALN. Please proceed.
In 2017, there are 22 transactions amounting 46,391,903 pesos and 32 centavos.
If I may interrupt, this is only up to 2015, the table which is shown on the screen.
On the other side po, Madam Chair.
To be clear, there's a third column po.
Yes, you may proceed, Honorable Ridon.
No, we can flash the table again.
Kindly flash the table.
No, to be clear po, there's a column, next column po. You can see 2016 in the next column.
The next column after 2015
Yeah.
should be 2016. Secretariat, please.
No, it's flashed on the screen, Madam Chair. It's correct. We can go back to that particular slide.
Is it on the right? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it's correct, Madam Chair.
It's on the right side, 2016.
Yes. Are you done stating 2017 or no? Not yet.
2017, 22 transactions, 46,391,903 pesos and 32 centavos.
Before proceeding, Madam Chair, we'd like to state for the record that the net worth of the Vice President then for 2017 was 44,828,000 as stated in her 2017 SALN. Please proceed.
Manifestation is noted.
2018, number of transactions 26, amount 48,717,694 pesos and 84 centavos.
Before proceeding, we'd like to state for the record that the net worth of the Vice President then was 49,699,000 as stated in her 2018 SALN. Madam Chair, please proceed.
Manifestation is noted.
In 2019, number of transactions 34, the amount is 60,231,229 pesos and 77 centavos.
Before proceeding, we'd like to state for the record that the 2019 net worth of the Vice President was 55,613,000 as stated in her 2019 SALN. It is further noted that it was stated that she had no cash or deposits in that particular 2019 SALN. Please proceed.
Manifestation is noted.
In 2020, there are 29...
Madam Chair, can I...
Honorable Diaz Suarez.
I just didn't catch the manifestation of Kong Terry. Can you repeat that statement again?
Honorable Ridon.
Further, we state for the record that for 2019, it was stated there that there was no cash on hand or there was no cash deposits in our 2019 SALN. Madam Chair.
Am I right to hear no cash deposits?
No cash deposits.
In
no
her
cash
SALN.
on hand in the SALN.
Thank you very much for that clarification, Madam Chair.
Please proceed, ED, for 2020, please.
For 2020, number of transactions 29, the amount is 58,443,465 pesos and 89 centavos.
Before proceeding, we'd like to state for the record that for 2020, the SALN of the Vice President stated a net worth of 56,583,000 as stated in her 2020 SALN. Further, the SALN does not state cash on hand and cash deposits, Madam Chair.
Manifestation is noted.
Please proceed. 2021.
Quick interjection, Madam Chair.
Honorable D.S. Garin.
Just to be clarified, to compare the statement of our AMLAC Executive Director vis-a-vis the question of the Honorable Ridon, ang ibig po ba sabihin dito base sa dokumento ng AMLC or ng AMLAC, merong transaksyon or merong kaperahan at ito ay dumadaan sa bangko?
Tama po.
It's a yes.
Yes.
So hindi po pwedeng itong datos nyo ay hindi dumaan sa bangko.
Tama
Does
po.
it necessarily mean a bank or any financial company?
Banks po.
And Madam Chair, Congressman Ridon was earlier saying that in the SALN, it was mentioned cash deposit zero or walang laman. Did I hear it right, Madam Chair, from Cong Ridon?
Honorable Ridon.
There is to be very clear, there is no line item that there is cash or cash on hand or cash deposits.
So my
in
question,
the
Madam
SALN.
Chair, to AMLAC, sigurado po ba kayo dun sa pinapakita niyong datos? Dahil sa SALN nakasaad na wala, tapos dito may sinasabi kayong meron. Are you sure of the figures?
Sure po. This
Thank
is
you,
based
Madam
on records, Madam Chair.
We may proceed to 2021. ED, please state the amounts.
For 2021, there are 30 transactions amounting to 52,893,074 pesos and 94 centavos.
Before proceeding, we'd like to state for the record that the net worth for 2021 of the Vice President was 65,308,000 as stated in her 2021 SALN. There's also no line item for cash and cash on hand, cash deposits in this particular SALN, Madam Chair.
The manifestation is noted.
Please proceed with 2022. ED.
2022 number of transactions, 25. Amount, 41,068,247 and 94 centavos.
We'd like to state for the record that the net worth of the Vice President for 2022 as stated in her SALN was 71,058,000. Further, we note that there is no line item that states that she had cash on hand or cash deposits in the 2022 SALN, Madam Chair.
Manifestation is noted.
Proceed to 2023, ED please.
2023 number of transactions, 4. Amount, 4,778,500 pesos.
Madam Chair, for the record, the net worth of the Vice President for 2023 as stated in her SALN was 77,508,000. And further, there is no line item stating cash on hand or cash deposits, Madam
Manifestation is noted.
Chair. Please proceed, 2024, ED.
2024 number of transactions, 28. Amount, 13,453,000.
We would like to state for the record, Madam Chair, that the net worth of the Vice President was 88,512,000, as stated in her 2024 SALN. Further, we note that there is no line item indicating cash on hand or cash deposits, Madam Chair.
Manifestation is noted.
Please read until the end of the table.
2025 number of transactions, 14. Amount, 1,062,000 pesos. 2026 number of transactions, 2. Amount, 3,454,350 pesos. Grand total number of transactions, 417. Amount, 3,920,955 pesos. 3,920,955,311.88 centavos.
Thank you for reading the table. You may proceed with the next part of the report.
Honorable Ridon, I understand that the committee secretariat prepared a matrix in line with your manifestation. Net worth vis-a-vis cash or bank deposit declaration vis-a-vis transaction per report of AMLC. So if the committee secretariat is ready, kindly flash just to conclude the clarificatory questions raised by the Honorable Ridon, including his manifestations. May we know if the secretariat is ready?
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
The Honorable Amben Amante.
I have one question for AMLAC. Ilang
Okay.
accounts po ba itong pinag-uusapan po natin?
Again, we are pertaining to transactions and not accounts. So, to all the justice members, please be guided.
Okay, thank
The
you.
subject matter of the subpoena is not account. It's transactions.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Just one clarificatory question, Madam
I'm not
Chair.
yet,
Maybe the
I'm not-
executive director can answer first.
Madam Chair.
Honorable Ridon, we're waiting for the
Okay,
matrix.
all right.
The floor is still with the Honorable Ridon. We're just trying to make use of the time. Edie, the question of the Honorable Amben is the number of transactions. If you can answer that question, how many transactions is involved or contained in your report?
Madam Chair, not transactions, kundi accounts.
But the subject matter of our subpoena is not account.
Okay, okay.
The subject matter is transaction.
Okay, Madam Chair.
So will you pursue your question? No more?
No more, Madam
Okay, with the indulgence of the Honorable Ridon, while waiting for the matrix to conclude your manifestations in the report of Executive Director Buenaventura, may I call first the Honorable Sara Ilago.
Yes, Madam Chair. I'd like to pursue the query of Representative Amben, but now in regards to transactions.
Yes.
So, does this cover, do these transactions cover withdrawals? Yes or no? Outflow.
It includes withdrawals.
Deposits, Madam Chair, yes or no?
Yes, Madam Chair, included as well.
Purchases, what about purchases?
Yes, Madam Chair. For ease of reference, the list of the nature of the transactions are actually found in the next page, which is page 3 of the report. So there are different transactions there.
I understand that the reference that was used by the AMLC in their report is inflow and outflow. So perhaps for consistency, let us confine to the use of terminologies transaction, inflow, outflow.
Madam Chair, we don't have the copy of the rest of the report of
Yes.
the AMLC yet.
It is being reproduced.
All right.
So maybe we can go back to Honorable Ridon. Honorable Ridon, please proceed.
Yes, I think while waiting for the slides, the executive director can continue reading the rest of the report. Transaction report details, please.
Transaction report details. Transaction composition is largely driven by credit memos, 1.41 billion, debit memos, 1.3 billion, and fund transfers, 521 million in 521.86 million, followed by time deposit pre-terminations, 218.74 million, and miscellaneous transactions, 209.29 million. Other notable transactions include time deposit placements, 109.15 million, and time deposit payments, 109.15 million, as well as withdrawals, 62.79 million, and check deposits, 48.33 million.
Madam Chair, just a manifestation.
May proceed.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, it's hard to dissociate transactions from bank accounts. Kasi ang binabanggit po ng AMLC are deposits, actual withdrawals, actual payments which pertain to bank transactions. So it's very hard to separate bank transactions from bank accounts. That's my manifestation, Madam Chair.
Your manifestation is noted.
Madam Chair, just a clarification.
Honorable Ridon, are you... We will wait first for the
No,
matrix
we can actually
before you
proceed.
proceed.
We can actually proceed, Madam
Can
Chair.
we please allow first Honorable Ridon to finish with his clarificatory questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we can dispense with reading the table. We can proceed to number 5.
Meanwhile, insurance-related transactions, including sell life insurance policy, 43.42 million, and purchase of life insurance policy investments, 20 million, are also present. Notable movements alongside purchase of checks, 20.03 million, loan payments, 18.23 million, and encashments, 15.10 million. Smaller value transactions include loan pre-terminations, check clearing, loan availments, cash deposits, collections, bills payments, credit card payments, bond purchases, salaries, pension credits, inward remittances, and credit card purchases.
Before proceeding with number 6, can you clarify po yung difference ng inflow transactions, because this is the subject of the next paragraph, versus the total transactions, which you had previously read for the record? What is the distinction between inflow transactions and the total amount of transactions?
Honorable Ridon, if I may interrupt, the table is ready to be flashed. Would
Sige
you-
po.
Okay. Secretariat, please flash the matrix. That is in accordance with the manifestation of the Honorable Ridon. Cash or bank deposit as declared in the SALN vis-a-vis transaction in the AMLC report vis-a-vis the total net worth likewise in the SALN.
Yes, just before proceeding, Madam Chair, I think we would want to particularly note that from 2007, when we had received copies of the SALN, the net worth of the Vice President was just 7,250,000. But there were transactions that had gone through her accounts, amounting to 208 million pesos. I think the same is clear in the other years, no? We'd like to highlight, for example, 2009. She had a SALN of 18.8 million, but 704 million had gone through her accounts. We'd like to state for the record as well, 2010, net worth of 16.2 million, but the transactions going into her accounts was 648 million. For 2011, 14.2 million, but transactions going into her accounts were 597 million. For 2012, net worth is 22.1 million, but going into her accounts in 2012 was 407 million. I think the same is true in other years, Madam Chair. It is just a bit smaller, but it speaks to the clear disparity from what had been stated in the year-on-year SALN's net worth of the Vice President, Madam Chair. Just for the record and before proceeding.
Madam Chair.
Confirm from the AMLC. With regards to your reported transactions, does it mean cash transactions? It's
Not-
just a yes or a no?
No, not only cash transactions.
Not necessarily cash. Honorable Ridon, are you finished with your...
No, we will deal with the rest
Let's
of the
allow
report.
him to finish first, and then I will call you Honorable Suntay.
We will deal with the rest of the report, Madam Chair, because this is just about VPSARA. There are two personalities in the report, including Attorney Carpio. Please proceed with the inflow transactions. Number 6.
inflow transactions, a review of the identified inflow transactions shows a total inflows of approximately 1.51 billion with identified inflow activity identified only during the period 2006 to 2022. These inflows largely dominated by credit memo transactions amounting to 1.41 billion, which account for majority of the recorded inflows. Other notable sources of inflows include check deposits totaling 48.33 million, deposit transactions amounting to 45.73 million, and cash deposits of 4.95 million, while fund transfers 6 million, inward remittances 0.99 million, and salaries pension credits 1.05 million represent relatively minor portions of the total inflow.
Yes, meron po dito nakikita natin yung mga inflows, no? Maganda po siguro we can read for the record as well kasi magkakaiba po ito, hindi po ba? From doon sa binasa ho nating nauna. Ito po yung inflow transactions. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga pumasok na mga kaperahan sa mga accounts. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Sige po. You can just read the grand total from 2006 to 2022, please.
So for 2006, grand total 122,156,866 pesos and 28 centavos. 2007, 105,094,767 pesos and 87 centavos. 2008, 22,225,157.35. 2009, 372,464,396 pesos and 16 centavos. 2010, 323,282,749.01. 2011, 215,637,944.42. 2012, 199,058,755.08. 2013, 96,852,782.94. 2014, 2,500,000 pesos. 2015, 23,796,782.94. 2016, 9,066,071.43. 2017, 9,866,071.43. 2018, 3,500,000. 2019, 6,293,000. 2020, 1 million. 2021, 800,000. 2022, 1,003,000 pesos 967.31. Grand total 1,514,599 1,514,599,312 pesos and 22 centavos.
Siguro po para malinaw, Executive Director Benaventura, ibig sabihin ho ba from 2006 to 2022, ito po yung pumasok na kaperahan sa account ni Vice President Sara, 1.5 billion over the course of these years. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Ngayon naman po, puntahan ho natin yung investment-related activities. Bago
Madam
tayo
Chair.
mag-proceed, labas pa ho ba ito doon sa total transactions o kasama na po ito?
Kasama na po. Kasama.
So, inclusive, no?
Apo, inclusive po.
Siguro po, can we read for the record yung paragraph 12, investment-related activities?
Madam Chair, with the kind interjection of Honorable Ridon, just a very quick clarification.
With the indulgence of the Honorable Ridon, okay lang ba?
Yes, please proceed.
Honorable Sendanya is recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you very much, Representative Ridon. I'm looking at the third column in the previous table, yung pong column on check deposits. Can we flash it again? The inflow that was...
Please flash.
Ayan po yung third column. Pwede po bang pakilagay dun sa mga taon ng 2019 to 2022? Ayan. 2019 to 2022. Nakikita ko po dito, tama po ba, may we request the Executive Director to please read the entries for the check deposits for 2019 to 2022.
For 2019, 6,293,000. For 2020, 1 million. For 2021, 800,000. For 2022, 1,03,967 pesos and 31 centavos.
Pakituloy na po hanggang 2023 and 2024.
Please flash the 2023 and 2024.
Wala na po.
Sige
Sa
po.
table.
Dito lamang po sa Madam Chair, a very quick observation. From 2019 to 2022, meron po mga cash deposit na na-flag sa account ni VP Sara Duterte. At ito rin po yung panahon na batay sa kanyang SALN ay walang nakalagay na entry sa cash on hand tsaka cash in bank. I just want to put that on record, Madam Chair.
We note the manifestation of the Honorable Sendanya.
Sige po, we can proceed to investment-related activities. Can we read number 12, please?
An analysis of investment-related transactions from 2010 to 2025 shows total investment inflows of approximately 327.89 million, significantly exceeding investment outflows of 111.15 million. Investment inflows were particularly substantial in the earlier years, with 106.64 million recorded in 2010 and 106.68 million in 2011, followed by smaller inflows in 2012, 2.43 million, and 2013, 2.99 million. A renewed period of investment activity emerged from 2018 to 2022, during which both inflows and outflows were recorded annually at nearly equivalent amounts, ranging from 18.15 million to 24.12 million. Notably, 2023 onwards recorded no investment movements, indicating a cessation of investment activity in the most year.
Sige po, pasukin na po natin yung total na lang nito pong investment-related activities. Ano yung inflow nito? Can you read it for the record, please?
Yung grand total, Madam Chair.
Yes po.
Perhaps we need to flash again the table in the cover letter. If Honorable Ridon is asking for the total.
No, this po muna. Yung
For this
investment-
item, okay.
Yung inflow po ng investment-related activities.
For grand total of inflow, 327,888,459 pesos and 67 centavos.
Sige po, before proceeding to the accounts of transactions of Attorney Carpio,
all right.
Very relevant po, Madam Chair, na banggitin po natin, no?
Is this for whose
This is just
transaction
for,
is this?
Vice President Sara.
This is for the respondent Vice President.
Yes, Madam.
Tama po.
And now you're proceeding to the transaction of the husband.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, but we just wanted to summarize po for
Please proceed.
Vice President Sara. So to be clear, ED, ito pong total transaction amounts, no? Grand total ay 3.920 3,920,000,000. Tama po ba? Total transactions. Vice President Sara Duterte.
Based on record, 3,920,555,311.88 based on record po.
Tama po. Ang susunod po yung inflows. Can you state it again for the record? Ito po ba yung 1,514,000,000?
Based on record, it's 1,514,599,312 pesos and 22 centavos.
At ito po ang investment-related activities. Ang total inflow po nito ay 327 million. Can you read it again, the entirety?
Based on records po, it's 327,888,456 pesos and 67 centavos.
Salamat po. Pinapabanggit po natin ito for the record, Madam Chair, dahil kailangan po natin ibangga ito pong amounts na ito doon po sa 88 million net worth ng atin pong pangalawang Pangulo to date. No? Ibabangga din po natin ito doon sa year-on-year na net worth ng atin pong pangalawang Pangulo mula po no 2007. At makikita po natin dito na kahit mag-usap po tayo sa total transactions, mag-usap po tayo sa total inflows, kahit mag-usap po tayo doon sa total investment activities ng atin pong pangalawang Pangulo on her transactions, hindi ho magbabangga doon po sa kabuuan ng kanya pong net worth at 88 million at doon po sa mas maliit pa nga na mga net worth in a previous reporting. So we can proceed, Madam Chair, to the transactions of Attorney Carpio.
Madam Chair, before we proceed,
With the indulgence of the Honorable Ridon, may we recognize Honorable D.S. Biron.
yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick clarification to our ED. Nakita natin that the bulk of the inflows came from credit memo. Is that correct to say, ED, that this credit memo amounting to 1.4 billion came from an existing account directly deposited to the account of VPSARA?
That we cannot confirm at the moment. We have to verify that specific transactions.
And if the verification proves that it came from an existing account deposited directly to the account, would you be able to tell us or reveal to us kung isang account ito, dalawang account, or it came from a common account? Is that possible?
We can check, Mr. Chair,
All
Madam
right.
Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable D.S. Biron.
Madam Chair, point of
The Honorable
clarification.
D.S. J.J. Suarez.
Yeah. Ma'am, para lang po maunawaan ko po yung proseso ng pagre-report. Ito pong mga tinatalakay na covered or suspicious transactions, ito po ay inire-report sa inyo ng bangko o AMLAC ang nagpa-flag nito? Paano po bang sistema?
Bangko po ang nagre-report dito sa email.
So, therefore, the bank determines kung ano yung mga considered na flag, suspicious, tapos nire-report sa inyo.
Tama po.
Okay. Mahalaga po kasing malaman yon, Madam Chair, kasi upang maunawaan natin na yung bangko mismo ang nagpapadala ng na-report nito sa AMLAC. And it's not AMLAC looking into the specific accounts of these individuals. Am I right to state that, Madam Chair?
Tama po yun.
Okay. Thank you. So, sa madaling salita, para mas maunawaan po ng tao, hindi po iniimbestigahan ng AMLAC yung mga specific na bank accounts. Yung mismong report, ang pinanggagalingan po nito ay yung bangko mismo. Sila ang nagre-report sa AMLAC. At ang nakakapagtaka po, Madam Chair, para yatang hindi nagtutugma yung kwento sa kwenta. Dahil sa SALN kanina na binabanggit po ng ating kasamahan na si Congressman Terry Redon, may mga sinabi na wala na may cash on hand, kaso lang base sa pasok at labas ng pera, mas malaki po yung nai-report ng AMLAC at ng mga bangko sa AMLAC kaysa sa dun sa lumalabas sa SALN. So, pwede ko rin po bang masabi, Madam Chair, na maaari AMLAC na hindi pa kumpleto ang report kasi ang sabi niyo po, bangko lang po nagre-report sa inyo. So there may be other transactions that may have not been reported to you because they may have thought that those were not suspicious, neither were they flagged. Am I right to assume that?
Tama po, because ang nire-report lang po ng bangko sa EMLC ay halimbawa yung mahigit 500,000 or kung suspicious. Kung hindi po mahigit sa 500,000 yan, hindi po i-report sa AMLAC. So maaari po or maaari ring wala na meron transaction na mas mababa pa sa 500,000 na hindi na po na-report sa amin.
Di maaari din pong sabihin na pwede pang lumobo tong numero na to kung mas lalong bubusisiin at titingnan dahil maaring hindi na flag ng banking institution yung specific na transaction dahil sa pananaw nila hindi ito suspicious o covered ng kanilang criteria. Tama po ba yun, AMLAC?
Hindi ko po masabi pero theoretically, posible po.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Honorable Ridon.
Madam Chair, just to expedite the reporting on Attorney Carpio, can we just state for the record, going to page 7 of this report, can we just state for the record the grand total of the transactions from 2007 to 2026?
Is that part of the content of the report?
Yes.
The total
It is
transaction?
page
Yes,
7.
Madam Chair, yes. The grand total is 403, a number of transactions 403. The amount is 3,129,984,775 pesos and 34 centavos.
All right. Can we go to the inflow transactions of Attorney Carpio, page 10? Can you read it for the record, please? The grand total.
Grand total for inflow transactions 201,911,860.37.
Okay, maraming salamat. Ito po ba ay mga accounts na at transactions na hiwalay po doon sa mga transactions po ni Vice President Sara? Ibig sabihin, baka naman kasi meron silang joint accounts, no? So hindi ba ito nakakomingle doon po sa mga nauna na po ninyong mga binanggit na reports, no, on the Vice President?
Meron pong ilan na joint pero maliit, konting-konti lang po.
Okay, so ibig sabihin, malaking bahagi nito pong 3.1 billion total transactions, 201 million inflow transactions ay mga accounts po mismo ni Attorney Carpio. Tama po ba?
Maaari po, yes.
Alright.
Based on records lang po.
And for the record, Madam Chair, binabanggit nga ho ng atin pong AMLC na magkahiwalay pa ho ito. At pagka pinagsama-sama po natin, particularly po yung inflow transactions na lang po nung pong ating pangalawang Pangulo at ng atin pong at ng kanya pong may bahay, malayo pa rin ho doon sa 2024 net worth ng ating pong pangalawang Pangulo at malayong malayo doon po sa pinagsimulan po niyang net worth for 2027. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Suntay, and then the Honorable Benny Abante, and then the Honorable Tino, Honorable Elago.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Sa AMLAC, can you just walk us through the process of arriving at the covered transaction report? Paano ba yung proseso? How do we come up with yung covered transactions?
Para po sa bangko, ang covered transaction po ay pag nag-transact po ng mahigit 500,000 sa isang araw, inire-report na po yun ng
So
bangko.
basta 500,000 or more yung transaction, automatic i-report sa AMLAC yan.
Tama po.
So does it mean that it's a suspicious transaction basta ni-report sa inyo?
Hindi
Not
po.
necessarily.
Iba po yung suspicious transaction.
Okay. Then how do we arrive at yung total amount? Kasi nakakalula yung amount. Pagka tinignan mo, 3 billion, di ba? So, ibig ba sabihin yan, how do we compute itong transaction na ito? Kunyari ako, may nag-deposit sa akin na 501,000. That's considered one transaction.
Tama po.
Now, binalik ko sa nag-deposit sa akin. That's another transaction.
Tama po. Outflow naman.
So, outflow naman yon. So, magto-total ngayon yon na 1 million. Kasi may pumasok sa akin 500, may lumabas na 500. Tama ba? Mali?
Tama po.
So, ganun yon. So, basta labas-pasok, nag-a-add to. So, it doesn't mean na pagka sinabi natin may 3.9, billion, does it mean na merong 3.9 billion sa loob ng account?
Hindi ko po, kung base lang po sa records, hindi ko pa po masabi.
Hindi, pero ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, based dito sa ni-report kasi amount involved, 3,772,000,000. ang tinatanong ko itong 3,772 million, this is a total amount ng lumabas, pumasok, ganon.
Tama po, transaction.
Kagaya ang sinabi mo,
Total po ng transaction.
Baka nag-deposit sa akin 500, lumabas 500, kinekwenta yon. So every time naglalabas-pasok, nagdadagdag yon.
Yung sa theoretical lang po, pero for this case po, hindi ko po masabi yun.
Ay, hindi mo masabi. Pero maaaring ganon.
Theoretically, posible po yun sinasabi.
Oo. Now, I would also like to point out, kasi napansin ko, we started 2005, di ba? Yung report na binigay nyo, 2005 to 2025.
Apo.
Oh, I just also like to put it on record that an impeachable officer can only be impeached for actions involving her term, during her term as an impeachable officer. So sumobra tayo ng ng 14 years. But regardless, I just want to point it out. Ang dapat na pagtuunan natin ng pansin actually from 2019 to present. 2022 to present, di ba? Kasi doon lang nagsimula eh. Now babalikan ko nung 2022. Wala na yung sinulatan ko. Nung 2022, may pumasok sa account niya. Well, yung na-flag ng AMLA, nung 2022, which was the time she was Vice President, 41 million. Yun yung lumabas-pasok sa account. Nung 2023, 4.7 million. Yun yung lumabas-pasok sa account. Nung 2024, 13.4 million. Yun yung lumabas-pasok sa account. Noong 2025, 1 million na lang ang lumabas-pasok sa account. Tama ba? Based doon sa report. I just want to be clarified para lahat tayo clarified dito sa mga numero na ito.
Based on records, tama po.
Oo. So based from 2022, siguro ang lumabas-pasok sa account niya, 45, 58, mga 60 million in the past from 2022 to 2026 in the past 4 years. Tama, mali?
Hindi ko po masuma on the spot.
Sinuma ko galing sa report nito.
Maybe you can make reference, Honorable Suntay?
Yes, I'm referencing from what they submitted. Kasi nagka-breakdown kanina eh. Di ba, nagbigay kayo ng breakdown kung magkano lumabas-pumasok noong 2005, magkano lumabas-pumasok noong 2006, noong 2007, noong 2008, noong 2009. Inad ko lang mula 2022 hanggang 2025.
More or less po.
Oo, mga ganon. Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Bishop Abante, and then I called Honorable Tino and then Honorable Ilago.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ako'y natutuwa kay Congressman Suntay kasi sinabi niya nalulula siya sa amount. Ako nahuhulog na eh. Sa amount ha. Grabe ho yung amount. Oo. Ngayon, in line with the questioning of Congressman JJ, gusto ko lang po malaman, yung nire-report po ng mga bangko, sila di ba nagsasabi kung ito ay covered or suspicious transaction?
Yung covered po, ang batas po ang nagsasabi kung magkano ang i-report. So, mahigit 500,000.
Okay, alam kong batas. Pero who determines that? Ang
The
bangko
banks
ba?
po. Yung bangko
Ang
po.
bangko?
Yung bangko po.
Therefore, yung report ng bangko, sinasabi na sa inyo kung covered to o suspicious.
Tama po. Tama po yun.
Hindi kayo.
Hindi po.
Okay, yun ang gusto kong malaman. Pangalawa, ang question ko nilagay, sinabi nyo din na meron tinatawag na time deposit placement na dineposito nila on time deposit. Alam nyo ba kung magkano po yung time deposit placement na yan?
Is the question part of the report of the AMLC? Congressman Abante?
Yes.
Opo, inaanap ko lang
Attorney
po kung saan.
Buenaventura, please answer.
Time deposit placement po is page 3, 109,146,567 pesos and 52 centavos.
That would be from the time that she became vice president until now.
Tama po. Apo.
Therefore,
Based on the records
yung pagkakaiba po nung regular account niya, magkano po yung sa regular account?
Yung regular accounts po, hindi namin, wala po dito na specific na regular accounts, hindi ko po masagot.
Meron bang outflow and inflow sa time deposit placement? Meron bang outflow? Transaction?
I understand that that is a probing question already, Honorable Abante. With all due respect, please confine to the contents of the
Madam
report.
Chair, maraming salamat. Gusto ko lang humalaman kasi pinag-uusapan yung outflow and inflow ng mga transaction. I would like to find out also kasi binanggit niya rito yung time deposit placement So we'd like to find out also kung yung transactions ng outflow sa time deposit placement. Yun lang po.
Consider that as manifestation of the Honorable Abante.
Madam Chair, just a manifestation. Just
Honorable
with regards
Suntay.
to yung threshold amount, kasi the accurate answer, it's actually Congress that determines the threshold account because Congress legislated the passage of RA 9160, which provided that every transaction 500,000 or more is covered. Yan yung threshold account. So it's not the banks that determine. It was Congress. It was the law that determined.
Your manifestation is noted.
Madam Chair.
Now it's the turn of the Honorable Tino and then the Honorable Ilago.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
With the indulgence of Honorable Tino and Honorable Ilago, I understand that DS Janet Garin still has to catch her flight to Iloilo. So, with your indulgence, can we recognize first the Honorable DS Garin?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po sa ating kagalang-galang na mga kasamahan sa Committee on Justice. Madam Chair, I believe the report of Executive Director Ronel Benaventura was cut short because as earlier, covered transaction reports and suspicious transaction reports were actually presented. In his cover letter, it also mentioned financial intelligence reports. Can the Honorable Executive Director quickly give us a summary of this? Ilan po ang financial intelligence reports and what does this contain based on your Annex B?
Madam Chair, the things that I've been discussing are actually the intelligence reports and the investigation reports. The raw, the covered CTRs and STRs are submitted separately. So in that, there's only pure submissions of and details of bank. The one that we have are already processed information. There is an analysis involved. So this already counts as a report on those CTRs and STRs.
In other words, Madam Chair, how many intelligence reports do you have in your Annex B?
Let me just confirm with the team. So there are 4 financial intelligence report and 1 investigation report.
Can, Madam Chair, can the Honorable Executive Director give us a brief summary or conclusion on what is contained in these intel reports?
Brief statement only.
Let me rephrase my question, Madam Chair, in the interest of time. Doon po sa inyong intel reports, sir, meron po ba kayo nakitang kahina-hinala o wala?
Meron po dahil sobrang laki ng mga transactions. Pero as explained po earlier, ang intelligence report namin is based lang sa database na nakita namin sa mga na-report. So medyo may kalakihan po, based lang po sa report.
Perhaps we can confine the answer of Attorney Buenaventura to subject matter of the investigation, brief statement, and then findings in the investigation report. Brief statement also.
Madam Chair, sorry, for investigation report.
Yes.
Okay.
Just a brief statement of the subject matter and then the findings.
For the financial investigation report, we have one on Attorney Manasseh Carpio, and it lists down his transactions throughout the years covered by the...
So what is your findings?
Madam Chair, there is no specific findings indicated that would summarize the
So what does
transaction.
your financial report contain? Observation?
Yes.
Okay, can you briefly state the observation of AMLC with respect to the financial investigation?
Can I mention, can I read some of the portions of the report?
Yes.
Okay.
Please make it brief.
So for the summary of transactions reported for Attorney Carpio is shown below. It's in table form. For purposes of comparison, two time buckets were identified. The first is from 2016 to 2026, which are the years when the Duterte family at national political scene. The other bucket are the years prior to 2016. And the biggest transactions involving Attorney Carpio are the purchase of MCCC-DC debit memo, which account for 86.55% of the total value of his reported covered transactions during the period 2016 to 2022.
So, Madam Chair, if I may, pasensya na po, no, sir, in the interest of time, kasi these are voluminous documents that we have just received until now. Doon po sa inyong pagperus o sa inyong mga natanggap na report, ang ibig po ba ninyong sabihin ay merong kahina-hinalang nakita o wala? It's actually a yes or no kung meron or kung wala.
Is that covered by your report or it is simply confined to covered and suspicious?
It is only the question, Madam Chair, requires me to go beyond the report because it's
Alright.
not indicated in
So
the report.
that is
I
a
am not
probing
competent.
question,
I
DS
am-
Janet. Let us confine to the content of the report of AMLC.
So, let me rephrase my question, Madam Chair. Base po doon sa mga annexes na sinusubmiti ng AMLAC, at ngayon po kasi patuloy pa nating pakonti-konti natatanggap ang mga dokumento. Sa pagkakaintindi ko, ang sinasabi ng ating AMLAC Executive Director ay meron silang mga financial intelligence report. Tama?
Tama po.
You mentioned the number 17, you mentioned the number 4. Ang tanong ko, dito ba sa mga report ninyo ay meron po bang indikasyon na merong kahina-hinala o wala?
Hindi ko po masabi.
Does that mean, Madam Chair, that this warrants further investigation via possibly a formal trial. Kasi nga hindi natin may tanong yung ibang mga tanong dito at hindi naman nila pwedeng sagutin dahil tayo naman hindi trial. Ito po sakop ng Senado. Do I understand it right, Madam Chair?
I think for purposes of further proceeding, we can consider the suspicious transactions because in the reporting of suspicious transactions, there are indicators shared and read already by Attorney Buenaventura when a specific transaction, regardless of amount, is considered as suspicious.
Yeah.
Let us defer to the report of the AMLC. They cannot make a conclusion. As a matter of fact, it does not contain a finding. It only contains observation. So, we have to satisfy ourselves as to the report of covered transactions and suspicious transactions. By suspicious transactions, there are surrounding incidents already which were considered by AMLC, why those were considered as suspicious. So it will be based on the judgment of the justice members whether these suspicious transactions will be considered for the purpose of determination of probable cause.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Chua.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Garin is not yet finished.
Just last question, Madam Chair, if I may, before I leave my chair, leave my time to the next interpellator. Of course, I have not perused over the qualifications of the Honorable Executive Director, Madam Chair. At sa pagkakaintindi ko, ang opisina po ng Executive Director ay nagmamando ng basic qualifications. Can the Honorable Executive Director confirm to this august body na siya po ay kwalipikado sa kanyang posisyon na hinahawakan?
Ako po ay kwalipikado sa posisyon na hinawakan ko.
At kapag po ang inyong opisina ay tumitingin sa mga transaksyon, ang tinitingnan niyo po ba ay ang mga tao? Do you check data based on specific personalities? Or do you check data based on the information that is being submitted or given to you by the banks?
Sa information lang po kami tumitingin, Madam Chair.
Hindi po sa katauhan.
Hindi po.
Ibig sabihin, ang proseso ng AMLAC applies to all and not to select individuals.
Tama po.
Wala po kayong bias, sir.
Tama po, wala po.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Garin. With the indulgence of the Honorable Tino and the Honorable Elago, the Honorable Roger Gutierrez would just want to make a counter manifestation to the Honorable Suntay.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Gutierrez is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With the indulgence, it's not a counter manifestation. Just a short point po, no, kasi I know we're moving on with the topics. Very short. I think that's a very good point raised by Congressman Suntay. Yung example niya po na halimbawa pag ako binigyan ng 500 at nagbigay ng 500, the amounts can change. But at the end of the day, zero po yung laman, supposedly. So, Madam Chair, I'd like to ask si AMLC Buenaventura, on that point, the reports can really bloat it, and you mentioned na hindi po klaro, you need to look into it to be able to tell kung ano po yung laman.
Hindi ko po masagot kung ano yung next action na ginagawa o hindi gagawin o gagawin ng AMLC patungkol dito. Pero sa proseso po ng AMLC, once we have the reports, tinitignan din namin, ang susunod ay yung mga remedies na available sa AMLA. Halimbawa, mag-further bank inquiry, magkakaroon ka ng freezing, or ipapa-forfeit, or magkakaso ka ng money laundering. Pero at this point po, hindi ko po masabi kung meron o wala. Hindi po outside the subpoena po yung kung ano yung next namin na step dito, kung meron man.
But Madam Chair, just looking at the report itself, wouldn't a good indication be yung net po between the inflow and outflow?
Sorry po.
Wouldn't that be a good indicator? Just if we're looking at the reports alone, the net between the inflow and outflow. For example, binigyan po ng, for simplicity, si Attorney Buenaventura sent me 500,000. I sent you back 500,000. You sent me back 500,000. I sent you back 500,000. Zero po yun on my end. But if Attorney Buenaventura sent me 500,000, Attorney Morales sent me 500,000, I only sent 500,000 to Attorney Sanchez. I have a net of 500.
That is correct.
So, looking at the reports, magkano po yung net?
Hindi po namin na-total sa report. So, hindi ko po maibigay yung exact.
I think you have a table incorporated in your cover letter.
Madam Chair, for simplicity, let's take a look at the 6.7 billion amount of inflow, amount involved. So, 4.
Can we flash the summary of transactions
So, Madam
contained
Chair,
in the cover letter?
inflow of 4,425,443,794 and 69 centavos minus outflow of 1,554,681,310 pesos and 82 centavos. That leaves a net of 2,870,762,483 pesos and 87 centavos. Would that be correct?
May I know po which page are you reading from?
That's the last page of your cover letter, E.T.
Cover letter, sorry.
The table in your cover letter. This is actually your summary.
Yeah. Yes, this is correct po. As read in the cover letter.
So that would be a good indicator po, a starting point for the investigation.
I cannot say I can't say for certain. I am not at liberty to disclose.
That is all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Madam Chair, just
This is on the same line, Honorable Tino. Would still be okay to
This is on the same
recognize
line.
two more justice members on the same line.
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair.
This is on the same line.
Same line din.
Honorable
Maiksi
Tino?
lang.
Sinimulan nyo na eh. Sige na po. Opo.
But
Madam
I
Chair.
am seeking for your conformity.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Adjong and then the Honorable Chua and then we will go back to Honorable Tino and Honorable Elago.
Maraming salamat, Congressman Tino and Congresswoman Ilago. Very, very short lang po, Madam Chair. Let me go back to my previous line of questioning, ED. Diba, the very mandate of your office really is to look into suspicious transaction, covert transactions that would probably describe how the inflow and the outflow of money can be determined as a money laundering activity. Tama pa?
Tama po.
Okay, sige. So, lahat ng mga, sabi mo kanina, lahat ang nagre-report yung bangko sa inyo, and then what you do is to analyze these reports based on the inflow and outflow of the money. Tama? Inflow meaning could be deposit in either cash or check, whatever, and outflow is the going out of the money, right?
Tama po.
So even if you total the deposit in the withdrawal, and then you come up with the certain amount, sabihin mo na hindi yun actual na nandoon na current na pera doon sa account kasi tinototal mo pa rin yung paglabas niya. Ay yun ang magiging account. So regardless of that, wouldn't that be the very definition of money laundering? Kasi ang sabi mo, pinapasok, nilalabas to appear as legitimate. Tama ba?
Kung legitimate naman po yung transaction.
Yeah, kung legitimate. Kasi
wala
nagsasabi
naman
naman ng bangko sa inyo,
Apo.
suspicious nga eh. So
Apo.
I'm asking you on the premise of a suspicious transaction, right? As indicated in your report. Tama ba? Would that be the very definition of money laundering? Papasok at ilalabas.
Kung marumi po yung pinanggalingan
the premise
ng pera.
is, kaya nga,
Yes.
nagsabi
Opo.
nga ng
Yes.
bangko.
Opo.
Nagsabi nga ang bangko sa inyo, it's a suspicious transaction. That's why you have that analysis. That's why you have that report. Because the bank reported to you that these amounts, na hindi siya yung, let's say, more than 500 million, yung flow
Honorable
and
Adjong,
activity.
perhaps we are crossing the line already.
No, I'm just citing to ED.
This has no reference to the transaction of the respondent.
I'm asking him the mandate and by which they actually analyze the activity and
In
the
other
behavior
words,
of the
you are-
inflow and the outflow of money. So
You
that
are
it can be-
referring to the process and not to the
Process.
transaction.
and for them also to determine whether this transaction covers the very definition of money laundering. Tama ba yung ano ko?
ED Buenaventura, please answer the question.
Yung nga definition ipapasok, ilalabas. Na based on the suspicious na report sa inyo ng bangko. Tama ba?
Opo.
Okay.
Pero
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Now we go back to Honorable Tino.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat for
Okay.
allowing the other
Yes,
Kongs
opo.
to raise
Thank you po.
clarificatory questions ahead of you. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Chair. Chair, actually, kaugnay din muna dun sa cover letter, tsaka yung table dito, yung summary of inflows and outflows. So, una muna, pwede pa klaro po, pag sinabing inflow, ang ibig po ba sabihin nito ay yung perang pumasok sa mga account o mga account ni Sara Duterte Carpio at ni Manasseh Carpio? Tama po ba na yun ang ibig sabihin nun?
Tama po.
Okay. Tapos yung outflow naman, yung mga halaga na lumabas mula sa mga account ng dalawang ito. Tama po?
Tama po.
Okay. By account, we mean bank accounts. Tama po?
Tama po.
Okay. So tapos ang sinasabi nga ay may total na 4.425 million pinagsama na pumasok sa accounts ni na Sara Duterte Carpio at Manasseh Carpio mula taong 2007, tama po ba? 2007 up to 2026?
Ito pong report is 2006 to 2025.
Okay, 2006 to 2025. So mula 2006 hanggang 2025, may total na 4.425 billion na pumasok sa mga account nila. Tapos, meron namang lumabas na 1.5 billion. Tama po?
Tama po.
Okay. So, pero meron ding sinabi rito, undetermined inflow and outflow transactions na 791.1 million pesos. Pwede pong pakilinaw lang, what do you mean by undetermined inflow and outflow?
Apo. So, nung nagsimula po ang AMLC, maliit pa lang po at yung system niya para tumanggap ng report ay hindi pa nakakapag-categorize kung inflow or outflow. Ang nakikita lang ay, or natatanggap lang na report ay kung may gumalaw. So, hindi po namin ma-identify kung iyon ba ay inflow or outflow. So, hiniwalay lang po namin kaysa magulo yung figures na sigurado kami dun sa inflow at outflow.
Okay, so itong 791 million na ito, pwedeng pumasok siya, pwedeng nilabas din siya.
Maaring po.
Okay. So kung i-menos natin yung 4.4 na pumasok, tapos yung 1.5 na lumabas, so more or less ay magkano nga po ang difference? So roughly mga 2.9.
Sinusuma lang ho namin.
Apo.
More or less yung katugma naman po na 791,102,607.44.
You mean yung difference?
Apo, bali,
it's 4.4 as against outflow of 1.5. So,
sorry.
Parang hindi
Opo,
yata...
mali po yung
Opo.
na-compute namin. Pasensya na po.
Mga 2.9 yan.
More or less 2.9 po.
O sige, 2.9 million. So, tama po bang sabihin na dahil mas malaki yung pumasok kaysa sa lumabas, merong at least 2.9 na nananatili pa sa account? Ganun po ba? Pwede po bang ganun ang interpretasyon?
Maari po, maari din pong hindi. Kasi yung pong reports na to ay ito lang po yung
para sa
humigit
covered
sa 500,000. So, kung below po yun, maari pong nagtatransact sila pero Wala po. Pero maari din po na tama din po yung sabi niyo.
Oo,
So,
maaring
mga posibilidad lang po,
Oo.
theoretical lang po.
Oo,
Based on report, hindi ko po
basta
masagot.
may 2.9 billion na difference doon sa pumasok at saka sa nilabas. Mas maraming pumasok kaysa nilabas. So posibleng may 2.9 billion pa na natitira, pero posible ring hindi kasi baka nilabas din yon, kaya lang, for example, below the 500,000 threshold.
Maari po.
Oo.
Yun,
So,
theoretically. Pwede ko po
for
masagot
example,
based
kung
on
nag-withdraw po ng 499,000, kasama pa po ba to sa mare-report sa inyo?
Hindi po. Sa
Hindi
unang
na.
report, hindi po. Kaya lang po, Madam Chair, meron po kasi tinatawag na structuring
Mhm.
sa batas. So kapag po na-flag ng bangko na you're intentionally evading the reporting threshold of more than 500,000, the bank will even report all of your transactions as suspicious.
Okay, so kung ibig sabihin, kung may pattern ng withdrawal na 499,000, magiging suspicious na rin yon.
Apo.
Dahil parang halata doon na iniiwasan yung
Tama po yun.
threshold. Okay. So, ngayon naman po, doon sa inyong, I think it's your intelligence report na pinresent kanina. Sa page 3 po, pwede po bang ma-flash? Yung page 3?
Comsec, kindly flash page 3 of the summary of transactions.
Okay. Pwede po bang in particular, ayan, yung mga transactions, ano, and then parang meron pong text, it's point number 5. Yan ba yun? Pwede po bang mag-scroll pa? Please scroll further down. Okay, ayan po. Actually, ang gusto ko lang po malinawan ay doon sa nature of the transactions. Pwede po bang balikan yung uli at may mga gusto lang akong mailinaw tungkol doon sa nature of transactions, both yung inflow at saka outflow transactions.
Madam Chair, ano po yun, sir?
Anong mga tipo ng inflow transactions ang inyong na inulat batay sa inyong analysis?
Alin po yung nai-report namin na inflow transactions po? Tama po.
Halimbawa, ayan.
Ito po.
yung mga yan.
Sige po.
Opo.
So,
yung nasa matrix na yan, are those inflows? Or outflows?
magkasama po yung inflow at outflow po diyan.
Sige, ipaliwanag na lang po. Ang pinakamalaki ay yung credit memo.
Credit memo. Opo.
Okay, tapos debit memo and then fund transfer. Okay, could you explain ano yung credit memo? At ano yan? Pumasok po ba na pera yan sa account?
Tama po. Yung credit
Okay.
memo po, may pumasok na pera sa
Ano
account.
po ibig sabihin ng credit memo?
Na may notice lang po doon sa account na nadagdagan yung account ng ganitong halaga.
So, ibig sabihin may nag-transfer ng fund?
Opo, maaari
No, but
po.
that's different from a fund transfer, no?
Ilinawin ko rin po, yung nakalagay po kasi dito nung araw, yung nabanggit ko nga po na yung AMLC ay maliit pa rin at
Okay.
hindi pa ganun ka-sophisticado.
Okay.
Wala pong, hindi pa ganun refined po
Okay.
yung mga category when banks would report. So, and ganun din sa system ng AMLC nung araw. So, credit memo, parang kahit na anong pumasok nung araw sa account mo, yun yung papasok na, tinatrato na po yun na credit memo.
Okay.
So, karamihan po yan, kaya medyo malaki po if you look at po yung page 4. Parang early years po yan, 2016, 2006, yung sumunod lang po na page. 2006, 2007, 8, 9, at 2009, and so on. Yan, hanggang 2013.
So, pag sinabing credit memo doon, basta mga kahit na anong pumasok sa bank account.
Opo, nung araw po kasi hindi pa po
Okay.
sophisticado.
Okay. Tapos yung debit memo naman, na 1.028 billion,
Ganon din po yung explanation ko po. Karamihan din po kasi nung araw ay pag nabawas, debit memo lang yung tinatawag.
So, ito naman mga bawas sa account.
Apo, nabawas.
So, ito yung lumalabas na pera.
Apo, tama po.
Okay. Tapos yung fund transfer, papasok o palabas o ano ba yan?
Inflow po, papasok.
Inflow. Okay, mga inflow. Okay. And then yung iba are siguro mas time deposit pre-termination. So, nilabas po to.
Apo, palabas po yan.
Okay. Miscellaneous transactions and so on. Yung iba mga purchases. Okay. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Yun na lang muna ang clarificatory questions natin.
Thank you. Next
Basta
is...
ang obserbasyon lang po, malinaw na yung mga inflow at outflow ay malinaw na malayo. In terms of yung halaga, ay malayo po dun sa declared sa statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth. No?
The committee notes all the manifestations of the Honorable Tino. For the guidance of all the members, we still have 3 resource persons. So I think we have amply raised clarificatory questions to the AMLC. So I hope that justice members will consider reserving clarificatory questions to the other resource persons. Nonetheless, we are recognizing the Honorable Sara Ilago and then the Honorable Percy Sendanya.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Marami ho sa mga katanungan natin ay nabigyang linaw na rin. Pero may dalawa ho tayong concern. Pwede ho ba nating i-flash ulit sa screen yung tungkol dito sa report on the transaction details? Nais lang po natin ipagpatuloy dun sa next page. No,
Next page,
naka-flash
after
sa
the one
screen,
flashed by the Honorable Tino. Comsec, please.
Madam Chair, meron ditong item na suspicious transaction at sinabi ang bilang ay 29. May 29 na transactions pero ho ang amount ay piso lamang. Tama po ba ito at maaring bigyang linaw ng AMLC tungkol?
Maaari po mahingi yung page number.
Number 4 nung report. The table doon po sa number 4. This is page 3 of 15.
Kindly
Sorry, page
speak
4
closer
rather.
to the microphone.
Yes, page 4.
Page 4, Secretariat, please.
Okay. Nakita ko na po, Madam Chair. So, ano po ulit, maaari pong makiulit yung katanungan.
Doon ho sa item na suspicious transaction, may 29 na number po dito ng doon sa covered transaction pero ang amount ay piso lamang. Tama ho ba ito?
Tama po yan.
Ano ang paliwanag po dyan?
Hindi ko po, wala po kasi yung breakdown nito, STR dito sa report. So, hindi ko po maibigay kung ano yung bakit isa-isa, kung bakit yan, ganyan po lumabas. Pero pwede ko pong ipaliwanag lang yung concept, yung konsepto bakit posibleng may ganitong mangyari. Pero hindi po ito yung ibig sabihin nyo na sa report. Ayos lang po ba kung ganun ko po muna ipaliwanag? Sige po. So,
Again, we have to limit our questions to what appears in the report of the AMLC.
Yes, Madam Chair. It's in page 4 of the report.
Hindi ko
Nakapagtaka po kasi 29.
We cannot ask him
number
to
of
explain.
transaction. Okay.
We can only ask him to confirm or clarify what appears in the report.
Alright, so tama ho. 29 yung number ng transaction,
Tama.
pero ang amount involved ay piso lamang.
Tama po.
Okay, now let me go to my next question, Madam Chair. Naka-reflect ho ba real time itong mga number ng covered transaction sa AMLC? O meron po tayong sinusunod, di ba, na time frame? ng
Meron pong
pag-report
sinusunod.
AMLC?
So kapag po covered transaction reports, they have to submit within 5 banking days. Kapag naman po suspicious transaction, they should report it the next working day upon determination of suspicion. So, kumbaga 1 day lang po.
This is now a manifestation, Madam Chair, na sa dami po ng suspicious na transactions. Nasa 33 ho ang inyong nabanggit. Hindi po dapat na record keeping o nangongolekta lang ng STRs ang EMLC. At sa mga susunod po natin ng mga hakbang, no? Hindi na po sa venue na ito, no? Pero dapat talaga makita natin kung paano hindi lang tagakuha ng record pero naiimbestigahan talaga ang ganito karaming mga suspicious transactions.
We note the manifestation of the Honorable Ilago. Next is the Honorable Sendanya.
Madam Chair, I will be very brief. This is just a manifestation as I have asked my questions earlier. Kasi pabalik-balik po tayo dun sa arithmetic ng pag-subtract ng inflow dun po sa outflow. So for the record po, Madam Chair, kung isusubtract more or less yung inflow na 4.425 billion at yung outflow na 1.554 billion para po doon sa mag-asawa, ang lalabas pong total dyan ay 2.871 billion. Kaya po kung ibabase po natin sa report na ito, yung 2.871 billion na maaaring naiwan sa kanila, maaaring ala na dyan, ay ano po, mas malaki pa doon sa 2.5 billion na budget po ng DOTR para po sa ating fuel subsidy. Pero tandaan po natin, ito pong figure na 2.871 billion, hindi pa po dito kasama yung 791 million na undetermined kung inflow or outflow transactions. Tapos balik po tayo doon sa usapin ng SALN. Sa 2024 SALN po, ang nakalagay na net worth nila ay 88 million lamang. Bilyonaryo pala sila. Sabi nga po ng isang wise man from the 3rd District of Manila kanina, di wow. Ang sabi naman po ng bakla na akbayan, sila na. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
We know the manifestation of the
Madam Chair.
Honorable Sendanya.
Madam Chair, just a
I wish to
manifestation.
share to the justice members that there is a pending request from the Honorable former Senator Sani Trillanes to be able to be presented after all these questions because he has some important concerns to be addressed after his appearance before our committee.
Madam
The
Chair.
Honorable
Madam Chair, yes.
Jokno and then the Honorable D.S. Suarez.
Thank you, Madam
And
Chair.
then the Honorable Brian po.
Wala na po akong tanong, just a brief manifestation. Unang-una, nagpapasalamat tayo sa Anti-Money Laundering Council. Thank you for bringing the records that were requested by the committee. Lalong-lalo na yung listahan ng 630 covered transactions at 33 suspicious transactions na konektado kay Vice President Sara Duterte Carpio at sa kanyang asawa. Based on the ALMC table, ang lumalabas ay the reported inflows substantially exceeded the reported outflows. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki yung perang pumasok kaysa sa lumabas. And as Congressman Sendanya mentioned, ang lumabas na net inflow ay 2.87 billion pesos. Wala pa po doon yung 791 million pesos in undetermined transactions. Napakalayo po nito, Madam Chair, sa dineclare ni Vice President Sara na yaman o net worth sa kanyang 2024 SALN of 88.5 million pesos lang. Kailangan ipaliwanag ni VPSARA yan at hindi lang po sa komite kundi sa taong bayan kung saan ang galing ang bilyong-bilyong pesong ito. Siyempre, karapatan ni Vice Presidente na ipaliwanag sa committee to o kaya kung gusto naman niya, hintayin niyang umabot sa Senado kung maaabot doon at doon niya ipaliwanag. Pero ganun pa man, ang ebidensyang ito ay may tuturing na smoking gun o matibay na basehan para masabi na may probable cause para iangat ang kaso. Thank you, Madam Chair.
The manifestation is noted. The Honorable D.S. J.J. Suarez.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Alam mo, pinakikinggan ko po yung proceedings natin ngayong hapon. Klarong-klaro na kailangan po natin tignan ang AMLC kung sila po ba ay in tune pa rin sa makabagong mundo. Kung ano pa ba ang kailangan natin gawin upang mas palakasin ang kanilang ahensya. dahil dapat nababantayan nila yung mga ganitong mga transaksyon dahil kung titingnan po natin simula 2005 pa pala may mga ganito ng mga malalaking transaksyon na hindi po maipapaliwanag base sa mga dokumento. So I don't think it is right, but I don't know if I can move, Madam Chair, but it's up to your better wisdom. If not, maybe a request that the Committee on Banking Intermediaries or the proper committee conduct its own congressional inquiry in how to further strengthen and how to further provide teeth to the operations of AMLAC moving forward, Madam Chair.
The committee notes the manifestation of Honorable DSJJ Suarez about a possible inquiry on AMLC in order to strengthen the agency in addressing its mandate, and that is fighting against money laundering. With that, we recognize the Honorable Brian Poe.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I just want to clarify, no? Dito sa 630 na cash transaction reports at 33 suspicious transaction reports, kasama po ba ang mga joint bank accounts?
Kasama na po.
Kung kasama po, counted sila under KVP or counted sila under Mr. Carpio? Kasi baka mamaya may double...
Wala pong double counting. So,
Walang double
yung
counting.
pong sa linya po ni VP, lahat ng ka-joint individual account niya at ka-joint account niya maliban sa asawa niya. So, yung kay Manases Carpio naman po, lahat ng individual account niya at ka-joint account niya at kasama yung ka-joint account kay VP, doon po naibilang.
So for clarity,
Wala
yung
pong double
kung may account na kasama yung dalawa, it's counted under Mr. Carpio.
Tama po.
Okay. Tapos yung mga joint accounts na kasama si VP, but not including si Mr. Carpio, is only under VP.
Tama po.
Sige po. Second point of clarification, Madam Chair, would be to ask, does this include corporate bank account transactions in which either personality is included sa corporation? Hindi pa kasama.
As based on report po, it's just if they are the direct owner of the accounts only.
If they're Madam Chair, to clarify, kung sila yung direct owner ng corporation?
Rather, if sila lang yung may owners ng account or ka-joint nila yung one of the joint owners of the accounts.
So, kumbaga, dito sa listahan sa SALN nila ng mga kumpanya, kung saan sila listed as shareholder or owner, hindi po kasama yung mga companies na ito dito sa mga transactions.
Based on report po, hindi po kasama.
Okay. So, I won't push any further now. On the third point, I wanted to ask, under this undetermined inflow and outflow transactions equaling 791 million pesos, can you explain what exactly is undetermined inflow and outflow?
So, meron po kaming mga transactions nung araw dahil maliit lang yung MLC, hindi po sophisticado yung system, na meron mga transactions na nai-report na hindi po malinaw kung inflow ba siya or outflow. Nagkaroon lang po ng galaw dun sa transaction. Nung araw po, yung mga bangko, hindi pa po sophisticated yung reporting ni AMLC. So, pag nag-report po sila, hindi po nila nilalagay kung pumasok ba to or lumabas. Nilalagay lang nila, may nagbago dun sa account. So, hindi po malinaw yung time na yun.
So, kumbaga, on top of yung mga transactions na nandito, hindi naman siya double entry or anything?
Hindi po. Hindi po yan. Nakahiwalay po yan.
So, may additional na 791 million pesos in transactions, pero hindi masasabi kung inflow siya or outflow?
Tama po.
Okay, just to clarify that. Last point of clarification, Madam Chair, is, for example, isa sa mga corporations sila, yung isa dito sa dalawa, signatory dun sa transaction ng corporation. Is that included here or wala din?
If signatory lang po based on records, report, hindi po sila kasama.
Hindi kasama. So it's possible to speculate that through the corporations, there may have been more transactions.
That's a probing question already, Honorable po.
Sige po. I'll leave the rest to my colleagues then. I just wanted to clarify those points. Madam Chair, to be fair, kasi to both the personalities involved, I wanted to make sure na hindi po ito double entry. Kasi kung double entry po yan, that's very unfair to them. Yun lang po, Madam Chair.
I think the answer of E.D. Buenaventura is clear. The transactions of the corporations owned by the respondent and husband are not yet included in the AMLC report.
So, Madam Chair, for all those viewing, this total inflow or amount involved of 6.7 billion pesos are unique transactions and not double entries, no?
Tama po.
ED?
Tama po.
Okay. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you,
Madam
Honorable
Chair,
po.
Madam Chair. Sorry po, one question na lang,
Honorable
Madam
Ilago,
Chair.
we're about to call the next
Yes.
resource person.
Yes. Ito po ay kaugnay nung natanong ko kanina.
Okay.
Just one clarificatory question. Medyo nalito po kasi ako dun sa na-report na item na suspicious transaction. Dun sa
Suspicious.
Yes. Sorry. Suspicious transaction dun sa table 29 ng page 4 doon sa ni-report na 33 na STRs dun sa buong AMLAC report. Ano po ba ang difference nito, Madam Chair?
Difference between covered and suspicious?
Dun sa table 29 na may 29 na number of transaction na part ng covered transaction vis-a-vis dun sa 33 na identified na suspicious transaction as defined by AMLA.
The question is basically the difference between covered and suspicious transactions. ED, you may
Madam Chair,
respond.
dun sa table 29 po kasi, meron dong item na suspicious transaction. And then, may nakalagay po doon na number, 29.
29 transactions?
Yes. Opo, 29 transactions. If we can flash again sa screen.
Can we
Yung piso
flash
po-
the table?
Yes. Yan po yung piso na nakin-clarify ko kanina, Madam Chair. Oo.
ED?
Maari pong malaman ano po yung
The
clarification
question is, why is it considered suspicious transaction? The 29 1 peso transaction.
Yes.
I think that's res ipsa. Res ipsa because it's 1 peso only and repeatedly done in 29 times. That's why it's considered suspicious.
Yung hindi ko po kasi ma-verify pa ngayon kung iisa-isahin po. Pero meron po kasi tayong reporting sa EMLC, sa system, sa EMLC, that even if walang transaction or zero transaction, you can report it as suspicious, halimbawa hindi nagtuloy. So, nag-attempt siya mag-transact, hindi tinanggap ng bangko kasi tingin maari ng bangko na suspicious na yung transaction, hindi niya tinuloy, ire-report po niya yon as suspicious transaction. Pero, wala pong amount siya. So, maari pong doon pumasok pero hindi ko po ma-confirm pero yun po yung, kumbaga may ilang paliwanag kung bakit ganyan po yung lumabas.
Ibig sabihin, Madam Chair, dun sa 33 na STRs, yung 29 dun ay ito pong transaction na ito. So, 29 out of the 33 STRs. Ito pong piso na ito.
Based on records lang po, ito lang po yung masagot ko po na 29.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So I hope we are done with AMLC.
Mag-subscribe at i-click ang notification bell para sa mga susunod na video updates. Maraming salamat po.